The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Happy National Pancake Day.
We hungry? Yeah, Tuesday we have pancakes. Pancakes.
Hey, listen, I like to have a lot of fresh fruit around and chocolate chips in my pancakes. Okay, write it down.
It's the pancake breakfast.
Sure, it's nice to pile on some old pancakes and syrup after a night of beer drinking, isn't it?
Would you like a schmoke and a pancake?
Yeah, Jesus. I'm saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
I want pancakes!
Got any syrup?
It's showtime!
Yeah, I hear you. Here we go. Showtime, Cubby says. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. She's 5:42. It's a Tuesday morning. Most Tuesdays we get the privilege of a visit from our big television star friend Janel Klein. So keep listening, Jungle Jane fans. I think she's ducking into our filthy radio studios around 7:30 this morning. You know, if you look at my nipples, Josh, every day is pancake day.
Your butt, too.
What the hell?
Kind of a pancake butt.
It's a trucker butt is what it is. I always thought that had more of a tough guy.
Trucker butt does have more of a tough guy.
Tough guy vibe to it. Trucker butt.
You got a pancake butt.
I'll go along with either one of them.
Butt.
Flapjack butt. Here's the deal. Janelle's going to be stopping by. Dick Bremer's going to be stopping by at 7:30. So we'll be busy enough. Oh, you know what? Before we go any further with this, you know, we do a lot of show prep around here. Well, some of us do. A lot of show prep. Lots of papers rolling off the printer and such. Wapple, I think I accidentally received some personal information that belongs to you. I think something personal that belongs to you got mixed up in my show materials. This is yours right here.
One of those penis extends commercials?
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's an article on a beginner's guide to pegging.
Oh. God, that's so embarrassing. I left it on the printer again.
Dude, that's one you want to print out at home, Waffle. You don't want to roll the dice and print that here.
I think that's actually Dana's.
Seriously, look at it.
Yeah, I know. Because I don't think Wapple needs a beginner's guide.
No.
Unless, Wapple, did you write that?
Did you write this for somebody?
Were you the author of that guide?
No, I wasn't.
Waffle's doing some freelance journalism on the side.
Yeah, I got some surveys going.
Who in the hell printed off an article on the beginning? How do I say this again? Someone printed off an article on a beginner's guide to pegging.
I have no idea.
I did print it. I sent it along as...
Oh, this is yours?
Yeah, I sent it along as part of the show prep.
This isn't show prep.
This is you trying to see if it's okay with us.
Me trying to get the validation from you guys to go ahead
If you
and give
start
it a shot.
Uh-huh. My world changed when I learned what that was. I had it wrong. I had it all wrong. I didn't know that's what that was. And I found out a friend of mine liked to do that, and I was like, yeah, you know, who doesn't? And then the person who told me was like, well, do you know what that is? I'm like, well, yeah, I think I can figure it out. And I couldn't figure it out. I was way off.
I know what it is, but I want to see if you know what it is, so you tell me what it is.
That was rough.
So, Dana, you think this is proper show material?
I mean, it's come up in the past, and I saw the article, and I thought we could have some laughs with it, perhaps.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't know if we can read some of this stuff.
So you really have a friend who's dialed into it, huh, Cubby?
Oh, well, yeah, you know, you do too.
I do?
Yeah. Well, I should more say it's the spouse of a friend.
Oh, I know the spouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I don't know him terribly well. A pal of mine got accused of... Maybe you had to be there. It was just a hilarious scene. But I'll warn you again that maybe you had to be there, but... Me and some pals were circled up, sitting at a table at the Boom Boom Room a number of years ago, and You know how the ladies operate over there. They'll come over to your table and introduce themselves, hoping to later on, drag a couple of lap dances out of the 5-6 of us, right? So the gals are stopping by. Hi, how you guys doing tonight? Where are you? Oh, you at the ball game? Oh, I love the Twins. That whole scene, right?
Yep.
And one of the gals stops by and she says, "Hey guys," and I knew her ahead of time. I was familiar with this lady, so she stopped.
From there or somewhere else?
From there.
From there
and other places.
Oh.
So she stops by, and I'm introducing her to my pals. That's right. That's how it worked out. And I said, "Yeah, this is Donnie and Ronnie and Johnny, and Big Frank." And she out of nowhere just points at one of my pals and says, "You're into pegging, aren't you?"
Did you know what that meant at that time?
Who, me?
You, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew what it meant. But my pal, and I love this bit, he looks behind himself, right? He assumes she's pointing at somebody else. He looks behind himself and he goes, "Well, me?" And she goes, "Yeah, you get pegged. You're into pegging, aren't you?" And he goes, "I don't even know what that means." And he was being honest. He had no idea. And she says, "Yes, you do." I have no. Yes, you do. And it was just one of those kind of scenes. It was a lot of fun.
That's a tough thing to bounce back from for the rest of the night, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you get singled out amongst all your friends.
Yeah. Just there trying to be one of the guys.
Well, and then you don't know what it is, and then you have to look it up on your phone because no one's going to tell you.
Oh, I would imagine everyone's going to tell you.
Oh, I don't see why we wouldn't go ahead and tell.
Oh, my friends wouldn't tell you, and they'd make you, look it up on your own.
Oh, I couldn't wait to tell. If that happened to me, I couldn't wait to explain it to them. Man.
Well, what made this situation even more fun was the fact that this stripper accused one of my best pals of being a pegging enthusiast out of nowhere. Our prior trip, I believe it was our prior trip to a strip joint, a different joint, maybe 2-3 months prior to these pegging accusations, was same group of buddies. We were at a strip joint out of town, and dude who got accused of being a pegging enthusiast here in the cities at the strip joint out of town, he went and got a lap dance from some lady. Well, she was an employee there at the strip joint, to be specific, not just some lady off the street. He went to get a lap dance, and when he returned to our table, the stripper was giving him a hard time for having such small, skinny wrists.
Poor guy.
So as they're walking back to the table, she's like, "I've just never seen such skinny, tiny little wrists." And we said, "What's going on?" And my buddy says, "Well, she's just saying my wrists are too." So in back-to-back trips to the strip joint, this guy was accused of having the most fragile wrists of all time. And also, you know already the rest of it. Oh, I don't know if we really want to get into this beginner's guide to pegging. I mean, I can throw some subtleties here at you, but some of it is quite medical, clinical. All right, lube.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Sure. More lube is mentioned in here.
All the lube.
Bring it all.
Yeah, you don't want to skimp on that, I feel like.
Yeah,
bring all of it.
More than you need, I think.
Set boundaries. Okay.
Safe word.
Pardon me?
Probably a safe word.
Like Norm Macdonald's. Boring.
Oh, yeah. A safe word. You ever had to use a safe word, Smashley?
No.
Do you have a safe word?
No. I would just be like, hey, don't do that.
There was a movie where there was a comedy, maybe someone can tell me, where the punchline was that the safe word was spumoni. Isn't that some kind of an Italian food or something? Anyone know?
Spumoni?
Spumoni,
Yeah.
What is that?
Is that an ice cream? I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
In the movie, the punchline was that the safe word was spumoni. And so then I stole that. And there were a couple episodes where I was in action with with a woman or two where we created a safe word, and I mentioned it should be spumoni. So
yeah, that rings a bell. Spumoni.
The hell was that?
Molded gelato.
Okay. I borrowed that bit and used it in my personal life, is what I'm saying.
Was it in semi-pro?
I'll go with it. Let's go semi-pro. All right, back to the beginner's guide to pegging. Set boundaries. Use all the lube that you can get your hands on. Start small. Make sure any toy you use for anyone's bottom has a base at the end so it doesn't go swimming up into your guts.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Nobody wants that.
Maybe an enema prior to the action, Josh?
It's probably a good idea, yeah.
That's one of those things where if you didn't use one, you'd probably quickly realize next time we should use one of those.
Clean off your sex toys before you start using them on each other.
I mean, anybody here interested?
No.
Ashley, if your significant other requested it, you wouldn't do it?
No, absolutely not.
I know someone who would do it if their significant other / landlord requested it.
Did you say / landlord?
Oh, my God, did I say that?
Yeah, I'm just curious if that's what you said.
You don't know how to say no to any woman. What's his name over there? Wapple?
Wapple.
If she told you, tonight we peg, you would say, okay.
I would absolutely not.
You are the okay guy. We know that.
Absolutely not.
Tonight we peg.
That's right.
I was.
And tonight we peg.
She knows she's got you, and you know it too. Just wait. One night she's going to say, I want Boston Market for dinner, and you're going to say, okay.
I miss Boston Market.
And then we're going to listen to Stained all night, and then we're going to watch a love story movie, and okay. And then I'm going to peg you sideways.
Wapple, you're the king of percentages. Now, be completely honest. What's the percentage of a chance you would agree to pegging if she was... I mean, she really, really, really wanted to do it.
0% chance.
Like 20%?
0% chance. Not even a 0.01% chance.
Not buying it.
0.
My final, or the final piece of beginner's pegging advice that I can throw your way from this. I mean, Dana's claiming it was show prep.
I know.
Cleaning supplies. Have them nearby. Have the what? What?
Yuck.
Oh, someone said yuck?
Yeah.
They say have the fire department and a barrel of cleaning supplies nearby.
Be ready to commit arson if things go wrong.
Oh, yeah. All right, you know what? There's no cleaning this. Let's just burn it down.
There's no coming back from this.
And there's some talk in here about a sex blanket.
Oh, yeah, we've mentioned the sex blanket before.
Sex blanket. The one and only sex blanket. I've even written a song about it. Do you guys know that?
I just heard it.
Yeah.
Somebody here, I thought somebody had one. Didn't you buy one, Ashley?
No.
Or you were talking about buying one.
No, but yeah, talking about buying one. But I mean, like at least usually about once a month, there's a designated like towel or blanket.
You got to have a towel or a blanket.
Yep.
And somehow it comes into play once a month.
Yep.
Weird.
Crazy how that happens.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't get it. Go into more detail. That's crazy to me. Just not that specific right there, but just that there's a sex blanket. To me, I think that would kind of ruin the mood.
Sex blanket.
Sometimes, yeah.
The one and only sex blanket.
Yeah, sex blanket.
I think that would fix the mood.
Yeah, just put a slip and slide down.
And this is a pretty good idea. A listener, I wonder how fast we can get this done. A listener has recommended that we make up some T-shirts for our casino trip to Wisconsin, where on the front it says something like 93X, stupid trip to Wisconsin. And then on the back it says, tonight we peg.
Yes.
Turtle Lake Casino hosts the 93X at live music, food, gambling. On the back, tonight we peg. And a picture of Wapple kind of with a, how did this happen look on his face.
I guess it was 0.01%.
Speaking of the Brotherhood Bash out there in Turtle Lake, I thought we were kind of sold out. Did I get that mistaken? With
you're thinking of the boat.
That's
yeah,
right. You know, we sold out that boat ride from last Friday, and I had it in my head that we also had sold out all our hotel rooms and such for our trip to St. Croix Casino Turtle Lake. But then I see a little reminder here in our daily information sheet from the promotions department, to give our listeners another heads up that you can join us October 19th through the 21st for a live broadcast and a concert. 10 years in concert that Friday night. Happy hours in the sports book. I mean, this freaking trip isn't about our stupid live broadcast. This is about just hanging out, drinking beer, making some bets. The food there is really, really good.
It's awesome.
Oh, yes.
I'm hoping that we can somehow get out of the live broadcast. If not this year, maybe in future years. The live broadcast is dumb. Don't know why we do that.
I mean, sabotage the joint if you have to.
I mean, honestly,
Kill the power.
Why
Yes.
I don't get it. So we go there this October, right?
Right.
Starting on the 19th. We get the broadcast on, the 20th?
Yep.
Why does only Wapple, Ashley, and Dana have to broadcast that?
I don't like the sound of it.
I mean, I wish you guys didn't have to. I mean, trust me, Nick and I feel bad for you guys. You have to do it. We don't understand why only Wapple, Dana, and Ashley are going to broadcast.
We'll do what we can for you to try to get you out of it.
Yeah,
but
you guys don't want to have to sleep in and miss the broadcast, but that's just the way it goes, apparently.
And by the way, so this isn't sold out?
That's what I understand. I had it in my head that we had sold it out, but I would like you. I believe I was mistaking it for the boat party.
Well, then to those listening, I'm sorry. I thought we were friends. I thought maybe we were all friends and we'd see each other in Wisconsin.
Guess not.
I mean, if we have to go to Wisconsin, you should have to go to Wisconsin, too.
I agree with you. And buy some friggin' merch. You can look into a trip package. You can look into, if you want to come join us, you can look into booking your trip package at 93x.com. Sponsored by the wonderful people at MinnesotaFatLoss.com. And I'll be damned if it's not also sponsored by Stittsworth Meats. So, yeah, there's availabilities. And, again, F the stupid live broadcast with Ashley, Wapple, and Dana. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, who cares? I really liked our event last year because it was low-key, just hanging out, having a few drinkies, having something to eat, going to bed early, no loud noises.
Right. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Don't get too crazy. Nobody needs to get too nuts. Here's a testament to it. None of us wanted to do it last year, but all of us were glad we did do it last year.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a
that
very
was
good
fun.
point.
Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like you said, good food, gambling, a lot of fun, pegging. It's going to be a great time.
Dana
volunteered.
Do you know what
The
you
truth
just
comes
said?
out.
Tonight we peg.
I'm going to gamble this year. I tried last year. I just missed the cutoff for some of that sports gambling.
You're going to make some bets on ball games.
I tried for my stepson. He's like, hey, put money on this and whatever, and I couldn't figure it out.
No, it's tough to figure out if you don't do it regularly.
I've never done it.
Yeah.
But that sports book room is super nice.
Oh, yeah. Those
That's really
chairs
nice.
they have in there, the recliners.
Yeah, that's a nice little setup they've got.
I was going to say, too, if you're going to bet on sports, I would ask your stepson because he seems really plugged into everything.
Dude, I've never met he could be like a stats guy for, name a sport, especially baseball and hockey.
Yeah, if you ask your stepson, I'm just going to copy your bets then.
He's going to be there.
Oh, is he going to be there?
Yeah, he'll be
awesome.
there.
Great.
So look out, ladies.
We got to make we got to make a separate T-shirt.
What's that?
We'll get on the phone today and try to come up with some T-shirts for this event. And on the back, it'll say, tonight we peg.
Where I went to Turtle Lake with the half-ass morning show, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt and a nice pegging. A robust pegging.
But I think we need to make up another T-shirt where on the back it says, tonight I hold your stepson down and shave off his stupid mustache.
Hey, Ed, it's a young... You're going to see my stepdaughter's bringing her boyfriend. He's got the mustache. It's a young person's thing.
I know it is, and I've had enough of it. I've had enough.
I can't believe I see it everywhere. I'm sure
yes.
you guys do, too.
Your stepson and your stepdaughter's boyfriend are not the only culprits of this. Yes, we all saw Top Gun Part 2. We get it. They had mustache. It's a mustache. Unbelievable.
I would be happy if my stepdaughter shaved hers, though.
Oh, my God.
It's unsightly. It is. It's unsightly.
I'll make some bets with you, Josh. But
all my money are on the Jets going to the Super Bowl.
Why? Yeah, absolutely.
That's a safe bet.
Why take any chances? But I do look forward to this trip. I never thought I'd say something like that, but I do.
I know, me neither. I remember, last year we're like, and it's fun. We were thinking, why can't we just do, something here without a broadcast, or go to Wisconsin without a broadcast? The broadcast part is the worst part, but even that was pretty fun last year because we had the sound effects.
Yeah, that sound effect machine was awesome.
Yeah, bring that with. Our listeners made it fun.
Yeah, it was a good crowd. It really was. I don't know why people showed up, but I was glad they did.
And I don't know why they show up either for the live broadcast.
I was kind of hoping they were going to be too hungover to make it.
Well, a lot of them just stay up and they just keep drinking.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But if you know Josh and I, you know that we're not exaggerating. We're not being sarcastic when we talk about how we like things to be low-key and quiet. We do. It wasn't always that way. When we were pretty typical. When we were younger, we liked things loud and staying up all night and all that nonsense. We're over that now. Quiet, go to bed early. And I'll give you an example of how much things have changed over the years. And it's a story from last year at Turtle Lake Casino. This must have been, so we did our stupid broadcast last Friday morning. I went back to my hotel room, me and 3-4 ladies, so we took a nap. And I woke up in the afternoon, getting ready to drink some beer and have some fun Friday night, but I needed something or another to eat. And so I walked out the hotel, and if you remember, right across the street from the hotel, there was a little convenience store, right?
Yep.
I know the casino's got food, and it is delicious food. I wasn't making that up. I just didn't feel like, I just wanted to go across the street to the convenience store and get a pack of mini donuts and a Gatorade or something. And as I'm walking through the parking lot of our hotel, some listener pulls open his hotel room window, and he's shirtless, and he goes, "Yeah, Nick! 93X rods, baby! Woo!" And I turned towards him. I locked eyes with him and continued locking eyes with him for about 15 seconds. And then I turned away and I continued walking to the convenience store.
He knew what you meant. That's too much.
I will not encourage that type of behavior. There's absolutely no reason to be screaming out of your hotel room window at anybody.
I'm with you on that one.
I love that.
We've grown out of that phase. Some people give us crap for growing out of that phase, but I'm glad.
And I love the idea that he probably turned to his wife and said, "Well, what's this dickhead's problem?"
Yeah, okay. Did he not hear me?
I like it so calm that I had asked a buddy, like, "Hey, do you want to go? Are you interested in going up there?" And he's like, "Yeah, we'll it'd be fun. It'd be great. We'll share a room." And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean share a room? No, we're not sharing a room.
No.
I'll buy you a room if you don't want to buy a room, but I'm not going to share because he wants to stay out and drink and all that kind of stuff.
No, there's no staying out. There's no drinking.
No, you go ahead. You can do that in your room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not staying in my room. Last year I was so relaxed I took a bath. That's the first bath I had in probably, maybe since I was a little kid.
Yeah, I know you
Never
took a
take
bath.
baths.
I know you took a bath. I showed everyone the pictures.
You did? Awesome. Well, we've got our hot tub potluck party. It's going to be fun.
That's gonna be a blast.
We're still working on the Nick and Josh hot tub potluck meet and greet at one point or another during our weekend in Wisco. So there you go.
Unlucky in Wisco, Jesus said, when we drive there, wave at the guy standing on the new construction who can't be there due to building new roads for us to get there. That's kind of you to get us there.
Well, that's nice that you're out there doing your thing so we can go to Wisconsin and have measured, mature, reasonable conversation.
At an acceptable volume.
At an acceptable volume, followed by, a good meal at a fair price. And then an early bedtime.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so
doesn't
excited.
it sound great?
Yeah.
Ashley, I want you to point me in the direction of those naughty slot machines you were talking about. last year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can help you find those. The ones, the boobs and all that.
Yeah. I can't believe they have that.
Oh, Christ. I thought you said
yeah.
naughty slut machines.
Did it sound like I said slut?
No, that's what I thought she said last year.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought she said, hey, dude, you want to stop by and try out these naughty slut machines? And I said, by God, we are in Wisconsin, aren't we? I'll be there in 20 minutes. And then when I went, and then you weren't there.
Yeah, can you imagine if she's like, hey, check out these slut machines?
Yeah.
And a couple of ladies turn around, excuse me?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
Tonight
usually
we
like
pay.
Oh.
It's usually like the Oktoberfest ones. Those girls always have the big jugs.
Oh, sure.
There you go. All right, so there's your heads up on our Wisco trip. You can still get Inskis. Let's take a break. Let's find out what the hell's going on. It is Tuesday morning. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You want an exciting and fast-paced podcast based on one of the most popular segments in the history of The Rich Eisen Show? Well, you got it. Overreaction Monday, hosted by me, Rich Eisen, and my compadre, Chris Brockman. And every Monday, we're going to dive into the headlines from pro and college football and overreact. Are you ready, Chris Brockman, yay or nay?
Yes, Rich. No holding back, buddy. I'm coming for you.
Absolutely what you need to hear. Overreaction Monday, every single, wait for it, Monday, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, dudes. Where are my dudes at?
Sup?
What up?
Art. All the fellas in the house say, yo.
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 Say, yo. Yo. Well, there's timing involved here. Say, yo. What's going on?
Do it again.
Haven't you guys ever been to a live show?
One more time from the top.
Now scream. Yay. All right, here we go. This is for the dudes. Gentlemen, if you're ever out in the woods, alone at night and you're scared, here's one way to get out of that situation. It ain't the smartest way to go about it, but it's a way. A 47-year-old dude out in the woods of West Virginia was apparently really scared to be out there all alone. So he called the cops and told them a BS story about how he was about to be attacked by bears. And he told them that they needed to come save his ass as soon as possible. There were no bears. This dude was just drunk, lazy, and afraid. Cubby, how can a dude with such a cool name be so SAWFT?
Soft.
The guy's name is Christian Leonhard.
Yeah, he definitely didn't earn that name. Nepotism.
Damn Nepo babies.
He's being charged with falsely reporting an emergency. He spun all different kinds of stories for the 911 dispatchers, 911, how do you say that? He spun all different kinds of stories for the emergency folks. When he called them up late last Thursday night, he said he was injured and stuck on a steep terrain. Apparently, he was just screaming, please help me, screaming his balls off. He claimed he was being attacked by a bear. He said he'd been walking for days and his phone was about to die. And then he said he was about to die. Next thing you know, he said he was surrounded by multiple bears. He was being stalked by them, for Christ's sake. Just like Charles Morse and Robert Greene were stalked by a bear in an incredible movie called The Edge from 1997. Don't make us do the routine again. I'm not going to stop until all of you have seen the movie.
Has everyone seen it?
No, they haven't. We're surrounded by idiots, Josh.
Why? I can't believe you guys haven't seen it.
I know.
It's on Hulu. I'll watch it. I'll watch it this week.
Don't say that.
Won't.
I won't.
I will. I recently watched. What was it? Midnight Run.
I'm proud of you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Say I'm gonna kill the bear.
Remember this?
Say it!
I'm gonna kill the bear.
Say it again!
I'm gonna kill the bear.
And again! I'm gonna kill the bear! Good. What one man can do, another can do.
What one man can do, another can do.
Say it again!
What one man can do, another can do.
And again!
What one man can do, another can do.
Yeah, you're damn right. Today, I'm gonna kill the motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't understand, in all the years we've been playing those drops, I don't understand how the rest of you haven't just gone straight home and dialed up that movie. Years have gone by. Doesn't make any sense to me.
With the exception of saying the name Charles too much, it's a very good movie.
You know, I once read an interesting book which said that most people lost in the wilds, Josh, they die of shame. What did I do wrong? How could I have gotten myself into this? And so they sit there and they die because they didn't do the one thing that would save their lives. And what was that, Josh?
Make love to a tree? Think. Use their minds.
Thinking. Thinking. All right, so back to Numbnuts here out in the woods crying up and down like a damn kid. He was screaming at the 911 operators to save him. He was saying whatever he could come up with to try and make it seem like he needed immediate help. He said he had a head wound. He said he was bleeding. Piles and piles of cops responded. They blared their sirens even before they got to the woods to try and scare the supposed bears away. They even started gassing up the damn police helicopter for this effing dork. But when they finally found him, he admitted that he just wanted a ride out of the woods.
There's no bears. Sorry, guys.
I wonder if he was sober, if he would have had the same reaction.
Good question. I think the liquor might have, how does a grown person say this? Accelerated his emotions. Isn't that what beer and liquor can do for us? Effing ridiculous. He admitted he was very drunk. He apologized for wasting law enforcement's time, but he reiterated that he still really needed a ride.
Wisco maple syrup Jesus has a recommendation if you ever get lost in the woods and there's nobody around. This is how you save yourself. The best thing you should do, he said, is to start talking about politics or COVID shots because someone will be there to disagree with you in seconds. Oh, thank God you're here. Lead me out.
If I'm this friggin' dude, I would never come out of my house again.
It would have been great if they just left him there. Like, okay, you don't really need us, so have fun getting home.
Well, the report here doesn't say that they gave him a lift. They may have just said, walk it off. Idiot.
We're telling the bears where you are. I have a buddy who was going to be a Eagle Scout, and one of the things he said that they do is they have, you got to spend the night out in the woods by yourself. And as a kid, that terrified me. The idea of that terrified me.
By yourself. Yeah, no, thank you.
This here next story, two guys got in a damn fist fight over chickens. One of the dudes is a 43-year-old man. The other is 65 years old, for Christ's sake. And they were hauled off to jail. I'll get to the this and that of how it started and all that in a minute. I just wanted to say that I find it absolutely fascinating how some folks have no shame in turning the silliest disputes in the world into a physical confrontation. That's a sign of mental illness, in my opinion. If you're mentally well and you're having a difference in opinion with someone over, let's say, butter, you don't allow the argument to go too far because as a stable person, you say to yourself, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to assault another human being over butter, right?
Yes.
But many of us don't have that ability because of some sort of arrested development or mental illness. Before we move on from this story, I'll tell you about a guy I was drinking with one night who wanted to get into a physical altercation with me over what I believe would have been the dumbest starting point to a fist fight in the history of mankind. But back to these chicken dicks here. Two guys in Florida. They got into a fist fight on the streets of Fort Myers, Florida, over chickens. They started out by just yelling at each other. But eventually they threw hands. The issue, as far as I can tell, was that chickens are running buck wild in Fort Myers, Florida. Some folks like the chickens. They leave water and food out for the chickens, but some people hate them. So I think that's why these two butt clowns were jacking each other in the mouth. One likes the chickens, the other does not. Cops on the scene gathered up these two idiots and arrested them. The cops also grabbed some chickens on their way out. I'm not sure why the cops were grabbing. And just for you, Josh, the story here says that the chickens were, quote, escorted to an animal shelter. Oh, the sheriff's department also said in a post on that godless social media, the cops said about these two idiots they arrested, they said, "We're guessing taking a ride to jail over chickens isn't all it's cracked up to be." Yeah, they need to knock that off.
I love it.
It's terrible.
Got a text here saying, was it fried chicken? Because I might get in a fight over fried chicken. I do love fried chicken.
I do too.
When's the last time you guys have had fried chicken?
I was just thinking that's been too long.
Not that long. I eat a lot of fried chicken and broasted chicken, Josh.
I've never had broasted chicken.
What?
I got to try it.
Chicken is the best.
Matter of fact, tonight I'm going out to dinners and I'm going to eat fried chicken, Cubby.
At like a place known for fried chicken?
No, it's a fancy schmancy place, and that's what I'm so excited about. They put fried chicken on the menu, and I thought, well, by God, I got to try their fried chicken just to see what the hell. So, just in case you haven't heard this story before, there was a dude who wanted to fight me over my opinion on adult penises and balls being used for live entertainment. The puppetry of the penis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had some kind of a wacky-ass show in the late 90s, the puppetry of the penis. Guys would get on stage and tie their penises together. It was terrible. So, one night I'm in Chicago. We're all very drunk. I didn't know this guy very well. He was a friend of a friend. It was the first night I'd ever met him. We had drank for 5-6 hours together. But somehow the conversation turned to this puppetry of the penis show. And I said that I thought it was ridiculous and disgusting, and this other guy thought it was the greatest form of entertainment known to man. I eventually said something along the lines of, well, you know, you can have all the penis you want. I'm sure as hell not going to be in line for that effing show. And he came back at me with something like, you want to do something about it, tough guy?
Sure.
And I couldn't help but laugh in this guy's face, and I said, let me get this straight now. You want to stand up in a bar right now in front of all these people and have a fist fight over our conflicting opinions on grown men who tie their balls together on stage. And he didn't get it. He didn't at all see how silly that idea was or how ridiculous he was being. So, I mean, I remember saying something like, you know what, bitch? If it means that much to you, jump. But I said, just for the record, I won't be too happy with myself in the morning, and I'm going to have to lie about what we were fighting over for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it
didn't go anywhere from there.
I had a situation, I know, Nick, you're aware, but I was America's Original Sports Bar back when that was at the Mall of America.
Sure.
They had a couple of those Harley game. I forget what it's called. And there's a couple of Harleys sitting next to each other, and I was just playing, by myself. And a dude came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder, and he's like, hey, man, you're sitting on my bike, right? So I was playing this thing. And I thought that was a funny line. I thought he was joking around. And then he's like, I don't think you get it. You're sitting on my bike. And he totally meant it. And then his friend came over, and I had I was landscaping at the time, and 4 of my landscaping buddies were there, and these were big, tough guys. And I'm thinking any second they're going to come over. But they were laughing their asses off, and they did nothing to help me out.
Aww.
Eventually, a 93X girl that was there with us, she's the one that kind of roughed these guys up, and then they got kicked out. But I thought I was going to get my ass kicked for playing a video. I'd never met this person. No clue why he was so upset with me.
What are you, 12 years old? You're claiming an arcade game?
Yeah, well,
what is this, 1984? We're at the arcade? Hey, man, that's my Galaga.
My quarter was there.
And he's like, oh, you're real good, man. You're real good. As I'm playing nervously, I couldn't figure out. I thought it was a joke for the longest time until I saw his eyes and realized he wanted to kill me over it.
I legit have an arcade game reserved for me at an arcade here in town, and I would never do that to somebody if they were playing it. Go ahead, I'll wait my turn.
Yeah, right. You've got your name on it.
Yeah, it says reserved for Dana Wessel on the Donkey Kong machine at Up Down, and people are always like, "Oh, do you ever kick anyone off?" I'm like, "No, I'm not that guy."
Why did they give? How and why did they give you that honor?
It's my favorite game, and it was a regular there. And as a birthday present, one day I came in, and the manager was like, "Hey, we got something for you." And she showed they put a little plaque on there that said "Reserved for Dana Wessel." And I thought I was very honored by that.
I named a star after you, Dana. And remember when those gifts were big?
Yeah. What a scam that was.
Yeah, I think I have a star named after me.
Good Lord.
Short but fat Jesus said what I should have done with that situation where I was sitting on that guy's Harley is I should have ripped my Menard shirt off like Hulk Hogan. You want to go?
That guy would have ran out the door.
You know, I was wondering, back to the story of the chicken fight, I was wondering why the cops were taking chickens away from the scene of this crime. Some people have texted in and said, well, they're witnesses. But eastbound at sundown, Jesus, he said, maybe he's from the area down there in Florida. He said the cops took the chickens to an animal shelter down there. It's called Popeyes.
We've got one of those animal shelters right by me.
All right, so also in Florida, Jesus Christ, a lady stole an alligator. Yeah, she stole an alligator. She allegedly stole an alligator from her former place of employment and kept it in a hotel bathtub to use for a birthday photo shoot. Does that make any sense to anybody?
Yeah.
Madison is this stupid idiot's name. Once she got busted, she told the cops she borrowed the gator without permission from her former job.
I'll bring it back.
Mm-hmm. The former gig she had was at a joint called Croc Encounters. And she wanted to take pictures with the gator for her birthday. And then, of course, you know, she puts the pictures up on social media. And imagine how popular she'll be once everyone sees the alligator. She still had a set of keys for the joint, Croc Encounters, even after she got canned. So she walked in, she stole the damn gator. Once the cops showed up at the hotel, the gator was alive, but, quote, cold to the touch, and it had no way to take itself out of the water, and that must be bad. I don't know. I know nothing about alligators. I can tell you about Alligators nightclub at the Mall of America.
Oh, man, there were some fun times there.
If you couldn't haul a stranger home from that joint, you just weren't trying.
That's where I picked my wife up.
Word.
True story.
You took a number.
Ah, nice.
Did you guys go back one last time before it closed, just for, to reminisce and old time's sake?
We did not.
So anyway, this stupid alligator was returned to Croc Encounters, whatever the hell the place is called, and it's doing well. And the owner of the joint declined to press charges.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, maybe she's not like that normally.
Maybe it was just...
I doubt it, but maybe.
She was charged with unlawful possession of an alligator. Now, I don't know what any of the new laws are when it comes to marijuana, but I have an excuse. I couldn't possibly care less about anything in the entire world. But I'll tell you this, if I were dealing weed, I think I'd pay attention to such things so I didn't make a damn fool of myself. A damn weed dealer in Florida. These are always fun. A weed dealer called police to complain that a customer had robbed him. He's a 33-year-old fella by the name of Eric. He called the cops. He did. He told the cops he said that he was selling marijuana. All right?
Yep.
Are you following this?
Mm-hmm.
You are. Hi, I'm Eric. What's your emergency? Well, I'm selling marijuana. And they said, yeah. And he said, and someone stole $10 from me while I was selling the marijuana.
$10.
It doesn't seem like it would be a lot of money to a drug dealer.
No.
But I don't think I know any drug dealers.
So the cops laughed their asses off, I'm sure, all the way to whatever street corner Eric was standing on, right? Laughing hysterically. The guy called us and willingly admitted that he's selling marijuana. And he called us over $10. So they laughed and laughed. When they got there, he had 11 baggies of geef in his hands while he's talking to the cops. In Florida, it's still illegal to possess marijuana with the intent to sell it.
How's that possible?
How does he not know that?
Yeah.
And how is that possible in Florida?
True.
When the cops searched a player, he also had cocaine in his wallet. This guy sucks.
He's such a bad drug dealer.
He's a real cutie pie otherwise, too. It says here in the past year he's been convicted of battery.
Oh, great.
But somehow, this isn't even the dumbest thing this guy's done recently. Just last month, he had to appear in court on separate charges. Maybe it was the battery thing. And he got arrested when he brought drugs into the courthouse.
How does he think drugs work?
He doesn't know how drugs work.
I don't think he knows how anything works.
Someone explained to me drugs. How does it work? You know how it is. Maybe some of you do, some of you don't. You go to court, you got to empty your pockets to go through the metal detector. And here's old Eric, not knowing the rules to anything, apparently.
Yeah.
And when he had to empty his pockets, he pulled out 7 Ziploc bags of marijuana cigarettes. He just hasn't quite figured this out.
What do they say? That's why they call it dope?
Why do you think they call it dope? Which is the worst song off of a great record. Blackout in the Red Room. The band Love Hate, 1991 or 2, I can't remember which. Such a great record from start to finish, with the exception of their song, Why Do You Think They Call It Dope? But that was the single they released.
Sometimes that's how it goes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they thought, look, hard rock is dying. We need a song that's going to grab people. Do we have? Oh, we've got one that says dope in it. Run, the son of a bitch. Because 16-year-olds will be like, oh, a song about dope.
That is true.
A computer and a car. Thanks, Mom and Dad, right?
Jeez.
I think that's the way they went about it. I remember being just aggravated because that record was so great. And that
Blackout in the Red Room, that song there?
Yeah. And that friggin' song, Why Do You Think They Call It? It's so dumb. If I ever run into Jizzy Pearl again, that's the lead singer's name, Jizzy Pearl.
That's stupid, too.
If I ever run into him again, I'm going to say, what the hell were you thinking? Remember did I tell you the story about when I met him backstage? He was singing for Rat at the time. You know, everyone is, I did, Josh did, everyone has sang for, or been in Rat at this point, right? And I was at Medina Ballroom, and I was, what's the word I'm looking for, in charge of introducing the band. And so they said, go ahead, go back in this room. Rat is back there. And you can have say hello before you go out and introduce them. And I see Bobby Blotzer, and I see Warren DeMartini, and I see...
Guitar God there.
I think those were the only 2 original members in Rat at the time. Carlos Cavazo from Quiet Riot was playing one guitar. Robbie Crane was playing bass at the time. And I'm looking at the other guy, and I'm saying to myself, that looks like Jizzy Pearl from Love Hate. What the hell is it? I didn't know he was singing for Rat, right? So I walk up. I figured it out after a while. Oh, Jizzy must be the new singer. So I walk up and I said, hey, man, I always wanted to meet you and tell you how much I love Blackout in the Red Room. That's one of my favorite friggin' records of all time. And he says, really? And I said, yeah. And he goes,
I like that.
You being serious? You really like that record? And I said, yeah. What?
How would he not understand
I don't know.
that?
I don't know.
That's a great record.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who was that? Oh, we were talking to Jonathan Davis of Korn, and when he was talking about recording a new album sober, and we were asking about it, and he's like, I don't remember
Doesn't
anything.
remember.
When he was sober.
Yeah.
He didn't remember a thing about recording the album. Baffling.
Yeah. Well, we finally made our way out of Florida here in this edition of the Stupid News. We're in California now. A fairly strange situation, I guess you could say. A shirtless man and his dog in a golf cart led the cops in Los Angeles on a 10-mile low-speed chase.
This is up on 93x.com.
Word. You would think it would have been much easier to end a situation like that a lot quicker, but it didn't. It went on for 10 miles. Several, they say, Cubby, several Los Angeles Police Department squad cars, lights flashing, sirens blaring, followed the golf cart all around town late Sunday night after it was reported stolen from a local shopping center. So there goes this dude. He's only wearing a pair of shorts, very nonchalantly driving with his dog in his lap on busy city streets.
He looks very chill.
Yeah, at times it seems like he had no idea he was in a police chase.
Yeah. Oblivious.
At times, cops jumped out of their cars to try to grab this puke bag, but he'd put the moves on them. But the golf cart, he'd zigzag. The golf cart, it says here, only has a top speed of just 19 miles per hour, but they couldn't stop the prick. Maybe they were worried about hurting the dog, and I get that. Maybe they were worried that if they pulled up on the guy or gave him a little bump with the squad car and maybe they thought they'd hurt the dog.
Yeah, well, or the guy, but yeah. Especially the dog.
I guess I wouldn't worry about that.
I'm more concerned about the dog.
I would be, I guess. To be totally honest with you, I never considered that they would be concerned for the guy's health. I never once did. They even tried spike strips. That didn't go as planned. Eventually, they cornered this dude in a 7-Eleven parking lot. He jumps out of the cart and tries to run away with the dog still in his arms.
Oh, man, let the dog go.
He didn't get far. He was captured and handcuffed. The dog kept running. The cops got him, too. His name is Rocky.
They got him. He was close.
In the video, and I think this is a clear example of how well dogs can read people. In the video, the dog looked very excited to meet all the cops. And that dog, they're smarter than you think. That dog knew he was lucky to be alive, and he knows that his owner is an unglued moron. And that dog was probably hoping that one of the cops would take him home. And I hope this guy doesn't get his dog back.
No, he put him in danger.
Although he did apologize to his dog on scene.
Sorry, puppy.
He
Did
did.
he apologize to the police or just the dog?
I didn't hear him apologize to the police, but in the video, he apologized. You hear him say, "I'm sorry, Rocky. I'm very sorry."
That's kind of sweet.
And Rocky's thinking, tell it to the judge, jag off. I've never liked you. I deserve better than this effing nonsense, is what Rocky would say if he could. I don't know who the dude was talking to here, but he also said out loud, I was drinking. I'm an alcoholic. Don't drink. Don't do drugs. Be a better person. That's great. Oh, he was sweating too, wasn't he, Josh?
Oh, man, he was drenched.
Woo-wee. You got a 60-pound dog on your lap, Southern California, driving a Golf. He was sweating. Did you see Rocky, Ashley?
Yeah, Rocky's adorable.
He's a scrappy little peckerhead.
He's put up with a lot. He's seen some things.
Too much.
All right, and finally, if you have a minute, you might want to check this video out, too. Another police effing chase in Los Angeles ended in comedic fashion because a suspected carjackal, we're talking 80s rock, a suspected carjacker struggled, I mean like a son of a bitch, to get his big ass out of the vehicle once the cops had the guy pulled smooth over. You got to see it to fully get it, I think. Is this up on our website?
I don't believe so.
What in the hell?
I thought it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, I posted so many videos recently, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's up there.
All right.
So the cops pulled this guy over, and they apparently ordered him to crawl out the open driver's side window of the car. And it appeared to me that the dude got his pants or his beer belly or his penis ring or something hung up on the driver's door, and it took 4 F-me running ever to get himself out of the car and down onto the street.
Hold on, I'm coming.
How long did this take, Josh?
I don't know. I mean,
he's
a couple
hanging
minutes, it seemed like. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, yeah, it's maybe 2 or 3. He's hanging halfway out the vehicle like his Johnson is right on the top of the driver's side door.
At one point, he kind of gives up, goes back in, comes back out.
And again, it must have been a piercing or his pants. He's just hanging there. He ended up doing the world's slowest and most unathletic-looking somersault to get the hell out of the car. If you want to feel better about your lack of overall agility, watch this dude operate. It's very funny. This is how the local news put it. The suspect rolled out of the car in a less than graceful manner before being surrendered to police.
I feel like everything I do in life could be described as less than graceful.
Oh, man. You got to check that out.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I used to strip. I used to be a dancer. I used to strip at the right track. But I used to make about $2,500, $3,000 a night. Sometimes the night be slow. Sometimes I can't make it to work because I got football practice. And the key to it is, right? You got them back then you dance for the big women. The big women tip you good. Having $2,500, $3,000 back in 1997 as a little kid, you know how much money that is?
I love that story.
That's hilarious.
We got to make sure we run that by Randy Shaver a little bit later. He might have interest in Chad Ochocinco there. What's he got, a podcast or something? That'd be a big surprise, right? Someone else with a podcast?
That was Instagram Live.
Instagram Live. Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, whatever you remember him by, back when he played in the NFL. He says back in 97, before he was in the pros?
Yes.
He was 19 years old. He was an exotic dancer. And he went under the stage name Twix. Like the candy bar.
Yeah.
And he said his stage name was inspired by his slender frame and prominent veins.
Okay.
Ick.
Yeah.
He says he was a male stripper in Los Angeles at a place called The Right Track. Earned $2,500 to $3,000 a night.
Nice.
He said dancing for big women was where the money was at. They tipped very generously, he said. All right. I'll go along with it. I've always dug his stories. You buying it, Josh?
It seems a little far-fetched, but maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm buying it. Monday Night Football last night, another double whammy. Couple of games last night. The Philadelphia Eagles ruined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' dreams of an undefeated season by winning on the road last night 25-11. Cincinnati got their first win of the season at home over the LA Rams by a final in 1916. The final, speaking of finals, it's the final home series of the regular season for the Twins. Kicks in tonight at Target Field. The Twins and the Oakland Athletics. Game 1 starts at 6:40 tonight on Bally Sports. We'll talk to Dick Bremer in about a half hour about that series and start talking more about the playoffs. Randy Shaver will be here at that time. So will Jungle Jane. For now, take a breather and come right back. Cubbies News is next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Stacking Benjamins with Joe and his good friend OG not only has great financial insight, it's laid back with humor too.
The Len Penzo sandwich survey.
I wanted to know, was it really cheaper to brown bag it every day, or was it cheaper to go through the school lunch?
And the most expensive sandwich of all,
46% increase. This is the first time a sandwich has ever touched $5. Before anybody gags on that, though, it's a great sandwich.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Get over here. Oh, I'm getting stung, dude. Watch that horse. All right, come on, let's get up.
Seattle cops and a carjacking suspect were attacked by a swarm of wasps when the insects hive was unwittingly disturbed during a bust. The painful incident unfolded when officers responded to a call about a series of attempted carjackings involving a suspect using a knife. Police quickly descended on a 22-year-old who then fled into a wooded area and ignored their orders to surrender. Video showed the cops chasing and eventually catching the suspect, but as they wrestled him to the ground, everyone's quickly surrounded by the irate wasps whose nest was right behind them.
Come on. Yellow jackets everywhere, dude. We gotta grab him and go.
The insects can be seen covering the officers and suspects, stinging them repeatedly as they let out grunts of pain and try and hurry with the accused carjacker out of the woods. They eventually carried the suspect out as they continued to be stung and offered him water when he was finally handcuffed inside a police vehicle. This isn't the first time police have been caught on video stung by angry insects. In May, a volunteer cop and Air Force veteran was stung up to 100 times by a swarm of bees when trying to evacuate a neighborhood under siege by the insects and after a construction worker inadvertently disturbed their massive nest in Los Angeles.
Man,
I don't know if you remember that video.
What a friggin' nightmare.
That sucks.
I'd want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, me neither. In Arizona, a woman upset that her husband wanted a divorce drove over 2 hours last Wednesday to shoot him.
Ooh.
The 62-year-old was living about 2.5 hours away from Prescott, where the 80-year-old victim, her husband, lived. According to a press release, the victim had reportedly changed the locks at his home, but said his keys and other items were missing. He suspected his wife also stole checks from his personal account and then forged signatures to cash about $10,000. When police interviewed the woman, she said she didn't want a divorce, contrary to what the victim wanted, and drove to his house, arriving around midnight. When she entered the residence, she approached the victim in bed, where a verbal argument broke out regarding their talks of divorce. The victim said he wasn't changing his mind about wanting to get a divorce, and that's when she shot him with the handgun, striking his wrist.
He was able to run over to a neighbor's home, call 911, taken to the valley to get treatment for his gunshot wound.
The man is said to be doing okay, and the woman is facing multiple charges.
Man, why is it so hard for some people to let it go?
It is tough, isn't it, for some? Mm-hmm. A drunk California man was arrested for discharging his weapon after shooting at non-existent home intruders. Officers responded to a suspicious incident regarding a subject who rang a resident's doorbell and then hid in nearby bushes. This happened just before 6:30 a.m. Sunday morning. The first responding officer found the man, identified as 63-year-old Gary Laskowski, crawling out from under the bushes with a firearm in hand. The investigation revealed the suspect was under the influence of alcohol and thought intruders were in his residence, police said.
Just alcohol?
Just alcohol.
I'll be damned.
Intruders were not in his residence. They located evidence of multiple rounds fired within the suspect's house and garage from his own firearm. Additionally, they found an additional bullet hole in the driver's side door of a nearby parked vehicle which belonged to one of the man's neighbors, and another bullet hole in the neighbor's garage. Ultimately, police determined there were no intruders in the residence, and the subject negligently fired multiple rounds while drunk.
Wow, I've gotten good and drunk a few times, Josh. Hallucinations have never been part of the bit.
Yeah, that seems like something different than alcohol.
Next level.
Police in Japan issued a warning Sunday regarding a group of suspicious men wearing a skimpy item of lingerie or nothing at all. They're seen running around the city of Koga the previous day.
They're either ass naked or wearing some kind of lingerie.
Yeah. According to police, I like leaving a little to the imagination.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to see the guys in the lingerie.
And I like that about you, too.
Thank you. According to police, about 10 of the men were completely naked, another 10 wearing garter belts when spotted at 2 p.m. Authorities were advising residents to take personal safety measures, such as shouting loudly if they spot suspicious people and avoiding dark or secluded streets.
So we don't know what the hell these fellas are up to.
I know.
With the running around naked and the lingerie running around.
2 p.m. 2 p.m.
Oh, broad daylight. Nice.
A passenger on a packed flight in India was arrested after he tried to open an emergency door mid-air to jump, police said.
No.
Officials said the 41-year-old fiercely attempted to force open the emergency doors of an aircraft during flight Thursday.
God damn.
As you can imagine, chaos ensued, and the man shot up out of his seat and headed for the doors, prompting one of the 180 passengers on board to rush him in a desperate bid to stop him. Footage circulating on social media shows the passenger manhandled an emergency door as the aircraft neared its destination. Crew members quickly intervened. They were able to restrain him until the plane landed safely. When interviewed by police on the ground, he confessed he was trying to jump from the flight by opening the emergency door midair.
Oof.
The ordeal comes just weeks after a screaming man tried to open a door in the middle of a flight from Israel to England on September 4th before a passenger stepped in and tackled him. In August, Delta passengers rushed to the aid of a flight attendant who was slashed by a man who allegedly threatened to decapitate her after their plane landed in New Orleans, subduing him until authorities arrived. And back in March, a United Airlines flight saw multiple passengers restraining a man who allegedly tried to open an emergency door and stab a flight attendant.
The hell's wrong?
Some bitch wanted to jump smooth out the plane, huh? I wonder what that would be like.
Yeah, I wonder how long of a drop is that?
I mean,
like 2, 3 full screams?
Yeah, I imagine you have time to form some real thoughts about oh wow, this is happening, I'm falling.
Well, see, that's what I'm curious about is depending, and I know very little about air travel. I don't want to know. I know the bad stuff. At a certain, how do I say this? At a certain level, like 30,000 feet, do you freeze to death instantly? Do you do you come to pieces, fall to pieces instantly? I don't know how that works. How far, how low do you have to be?
Like the altitude?
Altitude, thank you. At what altitude can you legitimately just jump on out and scream your way to Earth?
Yeah, that's a good point because you hear about those stowaways all the time, like freezing.
Yeah.
I don't know because you've got those, like the military with those halo jumps, right?
True.
I don't know what that is.
But they usually have some badass gear on or something.
What's a
Maybe
halo jump?
High altitude, low, I forgot the O. Low something.
Oxygen?
Okay. Oxygen? Sounded right to me. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Low opening.
Opening.
Oh,
yeah,
that would make more sense.
I thought at certain altitudes, you just turn into an ice cube. You don't feel a thing. I mean, if you can even get yourself out the airplane. It's in there like
I thought you weren't able to open those doors.
Yeah, right.
For good reason. 2 JetBlue planes were struck by lasers near Boston last week. The crew reported being illuminated by a green laser early Thursday morning. Last year, the FAA received 9,457 reports of losers with lasers striking against aircraft, down slightly from a record 9,723 in 2021.
Not only is it a safety issue, but it's actually a federal offense. I think it may have to do with the increasing availability of lasers to the general population. It could also be that people don't understand the hazards involved.
Since 2010, 277 pilots have reported injuries from laser strikes.
If you're thinking about pointing a laser at the sky, just don't do it. It can be everywhere from painful to distracting.
According to data from the agency, individuals caught shining lasers at aircraft can face fines of up to $11,000 per violation. Unfortunately, a lot of these, if not the majority of these, are grown men pointing lasers at aircraft.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
That's one of my favorite all-time bits.
Back in my day, we would just take them to WCW house shows and shine them on Perry Saturn.
Man, those were popular for a while, weren't they,
really
at concerts
were.
and everything?
They're so dangerous.
A grocery store employee is accused of throwing groceries at a shopper over a price discrepancy. The customer told police while the cashier was ringing her up, she saw a price discrepancy with her tortilla chips. The customer said she informed the cashier, and then an argument ensued. According to a police report, the cashier slammed his hands down on the conveyor belt, shook the bag of chips over her head, and started cursing at her. She said she thought the cashier was going to hop over the counter and attack her, so she swung a frozen chicken at him in a poultry-aided self-defense move. The officer spoke with the cashier, who stated the customer was being difficult and started insulting his abilities as a cashier while he tried to look up the correct sale price. He admitted that he snapped before slamming his hands down on the chips and making a mess. Surveillance video showed the cashier throwing chips and the customer throwing the chicken. The two were separated by a manager before crossing each other again at the customer service desk, where another argument ensued before the cashier walked out.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Cubby, do you want to know more about the right and the wrong ways to jump out of a moving airplane?
Yeah, please.
I've received some text messages from our listening audience. They know stuff. According to a couple of them, this is the overall vibe I'm getting. if you are above 12,000 feet and you jump out of one of those airplanes, you wouldn't have enough oxygen, you'd pass out. But according to what I'm receiving, below 12,000 feet, you jump out of one of those airplanes, then you'll have the opportunity to scream multiple times before you smash into planet Earth.
That's good to know.
Okay. I think I'd want the first option where I'm passed out.
Most definitely.
Get me up that high.
Just have a little dream.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're dead.
It's wake up in the cremation society.
Wake up. Time to die.
Today's our Friday, so we're getting to what's new in movies and streaming a little early this week, starting with Saw X, which slices and dices its way into theaters for the weekend. Hoping for a miraculous cure, John Kramer travels to Mexico for a risky and experimental medical procedure, only to discover the entire operation is a scam. Armed with a newfound purpose, the infamous serial killer uses deranged and ingenious traps to turn the tables on the con artists.
I'm so excited to see that. The last one was incredible.
Did Chris Rock have something to do with the last one, or am I getting confused with a different movie?
Yes, he was very big in it too.
Was he?
It was I was unaware of that until I went and saw the movie, and I was like, wait a minute.
That would have thrown me a little bit if I didn't know ahead of time Chris Rock was going to be in a Saw movie.
Like, how do you not laugh? It was difficult for me.
The new release is intended as a direct sequel to the first Saw film. Also in theaters this weekend, Samuel L. Jackson and Uma Thurman in The Kill Room. The dark comedy thriller is about a hitman who teams up with an art dealer for a money laundering scheme, which unwittingly turns him into a media sensation. Finally in theaters this week, The Creator. As a future war between the human race and artificial intelligence rages on, an ex-Special Forces agent recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, the elusive architect of advanced AI. Denzel Washington's son, John David Washington, leads the cast. Streaming Friday on Netflix, Reptile, starring Benicio del Toro, Justin Timberlake, and Alicia Silverstone. Following the brutal murder of a young real estate agent, a hardened detective attempts to uncover the truth in a case where nothing is as it seems. Friday on Prime Video, a spin-off of Amazon's popular and satirical superhero series The Boys called Gen V. The new show takes place at a superhero college with the first generation of supes to know that their superpowers are from Compound V. Friday's premiere includes the first 3 episodes. On the network side, Dateline returns to NBC with season 32 on Sunday. On Friday. And then Sunday on Fox, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, and The Simpsons are each back with new episodes. Serena Williams turns 42 today. Melissa Sue Anderson, Mary on Little House on the Prairie, 62.
I'll be damned.
Sarah.
She was so adorable.
I loved Mary. She was very sweet. And I loved Little House on the Prairie. I used to watch it every day.
Yeah, I've been seeing a little bit more of it lately, Josh. Did you know that the series carried on? Little House, A New Beginning. Did you ever watch that in the early 80s?
No.
So Laura and her husband Alonzo were still involved, but that was it from the original cast. It went nowhere. It went nowhere. It didn't last long. But no Ma, no Pa, no Mr. Olson.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that either recently.
So you can watch the original somewhere? You got to be, right?
I got some old-timey channel, on my cable.
Gotcha.
And they'll show Old Little House, and even they tap into that New Beginning era. I mean, the show went nowhere, but it's, a fully grown Melissa Gilbert, and who can argue with that? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Looks like Little House is on Amazon. Sorry, Wapo. I think we found the same information at the same time.
Boom.
Well, but also, there's an old-timey cable channel. In case you have old-timey cable.
Yeah.
There is. It's out there. I'm just saying, you don't have to dial up Amazon however you do that. You can find it on regular cable.
Sarah Connor in The Terminator. Linda Hamilton, 67. Shout out to longtime listener, and thanks for listening to Megan. Autistic ADHD nerdy Nerdington's Jesus sent in a happy belated birthday to his last kid to become a teenager, Briar Rose Knitting Theater Kid Jesus. Happy 7th birthday to Isabella and her dad Tate, and that's 93X News.
Minnesota Twins interview on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
We followed through on what we said we were going to do. We said it, we did it, and now we really get to work. Tonight, we celebrate So celebrate. Let's go. Let's do it right now. Pop it. One of the best weeks of my life. I mean, that's for sure. I called my wife already behind this tarp on my phone. She's partying in her own way with 2 babies strapped to her. And she's working harder than I am. But we're all enjoying it.
All right, this is where things get buck wild now. We got Randy Shaver live from the Pleasant Dreams retirement community. Hello, Randy.
Good morning from Pleasant Dreams.
It's an early wake up over there, isn't it?
It's always an early wake up. But you know what? It's better to wake up than not.
Exactly. Any day above ground. Janel Klein is in studio. Hi, Janel.
Hi, you guys.
And this will be our final regular season chit-chat with Dick Bremer. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning, everybody.
Did you get in on that beer party when they clinched the division last Friday? Everyone were popping champagne corks in the locker room. They're drinking canned Budweiser. I didn't see you with the scuba gear on or anything. What was going on?
No, we had a segment. We had a segment to do up in the booth, and that's fine. As I've gotten older, hopefully I've gotten smarter. I've been in there before, and the last time they celebrated like that, we were actually in Detroit, and I was going to be very cautious. And I had a champagne bottle in my hand, but I was trying to stay in the periphery, and I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll go ahead and pop the champagne cork. And unbeknownst to me, the owner of the team, Jim Pohlad, had elbowed his way right in front of me, and I drilled him right in the back of the head with a champagne cork.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez. Just put a knot in his head, huh?
Yeah, and that was in 2019, and I was invited back, oddly, for season 2020.
Man,
that's great.
Those are great. That's a great memory. And nowadays they put on the goggles. It's a whole organized thing. I love watching those parties in the clubhouse. That'd be
and we neglected to talk about it on the air because my guy LaTroy Hawkins was the first guy to ever wear goggles in a celebration. The Twins had a run there, in 2002, 3, and 4, where they won 3 divisions in a row, and I think LaTroy was a part of the first 2. Maybe all 3, I don't remember. But he decided, and it wasn't the big ski goggles that they use now. It was the little swim goggles,
right,
to keep the champagne out of your eyes. Look, that was LaTroy Hawkins' idea, and it's taken off.
He was the innovator of that, huh? That's brilliant. Yeah, you'd think that he'd get some residuals from that or something.
He should have made his own line of goggles.
Yeah, LaTroy Hawkins party goggles or something like that. Well, we all know about beer goggles, but this will be a little different. That champagne gets in your eyes, it stings.
It does.
Stings. Randy, you've ducked in there once or twice, haven't you? Back in the day.
Back in the day, sure.
87? Were you in the locker room when they won it in 87?
I was. You mean at the Metrodome?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you bet.
So did you get just hammered?
87, 91. Oh yeah.
87 and 91. You were there.
Yeah, sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
What was really nice this year is the team did it on the field, not in the clubhouse, and that makes all the difference in the world. Because I guarantee you talk to Rocco, any of the players that were out there, the best part of it, as crazy as it was in the clubhouse, the best part of it was celebrating on the field with the fans.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I know we were all hoping for that, and we got it. So they clinched a division last Friday. It's a beautiful thing. Janel Klein, you've been to national championship football games and such. Have you been in the locker room when everyone goes buck wild with the beer drinking?
I haven't. Actually, I did it at Target Field. I want to say it was the Tigers. Is that right, Dick? Did they win the division?
Could have been that game 163, that extra game they had to play in 09. I'll bet that's awesome. What you're thinking of,
I can't remember when it was, but I remember getting sent over there kind of last minute for ESPN, and no one told me what we were really up to, and so I went in there and was completely ill prepared, did not have the goggles, and we pretty much did our job as fast as we could and ran because we knew what was coming.
Right. Were they so they didn't get you?
Not really.
No.
Oh
man, game 163. I know we're ready to start talking about the playoffs and everything. But, I wasn't lucky enough to be at the Dome for any of the 87 games or the 91 games. But I was at the Dome, the old Metrodome, for when they beat the Tigers in that game 163. And I think it's underrated how thrilling that game was.
It was so good.
And the Twins had lost that game 163 just the year before in Chicago, 1-0. And then my duties for the game at the Metrodome, and remember, of course, that was the last year of the Metrodome. We thought we were done playing regular season games there.
Right.
And then they had to add on that extra one. But my duties were to be in the winning clubhouse, because it was what TBS, I think, had the network broadcast, but we were doing pre and post game stuff, and I was supposed to go to the winning clubhouse to do post game interviews. And the way the game went, as everybody who was there or watched remembered, I mean, every half inning it seemed like the other team was going to win, and I went back and forth between the Tiger and Twins clubhouse about 4 times, and it was a wild game. It was such a wonderful game, and I would say that even if the Tigers had won it. What a fantastic game that was.
It really was.
Nothing like walking the hallway downstairs in the old Metrodome between those two clubhouses, right? I mean,
Right.
it was, yeah.
So that would have
and
been.
nobody paid any attention to me, but they were, it was the champagne cart that they were more concerned about going back and forth.
So, I mean, I'm assuming that might have been a little bit of a tough task for you, Dick Bremer, being a Minnesotan and so loyal to the Twins, to have had to gone into the Tigers locker room had they won that game, and and speak with the players and the coaches. I would have thought that would have kind of torn at you a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm sure that if the Tigers had won and I went up to Miguel Cabrera and asked him a question, his answer would have been, "Who the heck are you?" But it was a fun night, and even when you talk to Alex Avila, who later was with the Twins, I think he was the backup catcher that year or something like that, talked about what a great experience it was, how loud it was when Alexi Casilla finally drove in Carlos Gomez with a game-winning run. There's a picture. It's outside the Twins clubhouse. It's pretty popular picture. A lot of Twins fans have seen it. Michael Kadire jumps about 6 feet in the air as Gomez scores the winning run. That was awesome.
The two things that I'll never forget about that game, because it was such a great night. At one point or another, the PA guy plays "Don't Stop Believin'" by Journey. And if you know the song, you know there's a line where the voice of God, Steve Perry, sings, "Born and raised in South Detroit," and all he had to, and the crowd went, "Boo, you son of a..." And the booing from the crowd, just hearing the word Detroit, overwhelmed the song. And then, of course, the sight, I'll never forget the sight of Alexei, not Casilla, Carlos Gomez beautifully sliding. Didn't need to, but beautifully sliding over home plate to win that game, and then sprinting his way up the third baseline in celebration. It was just, I mean, here's the thing. You guys know me. You guys know I love to drink beer. That night, I was so pumped, I went out and drank shots of Jägermeister.
That is uncharacteristic.
And what was it, Dick? Was it a Sunday night? It was a Monday or a Sunday?
Well, I think it had to be a Tuesday, because I think the Vikings were hosting the Packers on Monday Night Football. Oh. So we had the tie after the Sunday games. And then, as I recall, it was a Viking Monday Night Football game, so they had to actually wait until Tuesday to win that game. And then, and this is the part that we were just talking about it off the air the other day, Twins won the game. It ended at, 11:30, right? So a celebration of an hour and a half. Then the Twins, because they won that game, they had to go to New York to play an afternoon game the next day.
And they got swept.
Yeah.
And they got swept.
Yep.
But, I mean, and I understand you can't change game times because, some team got in late. But if they'd been able to play the game on Monday, well, then, you play Wednesday and you've got at least some time to recover. Yes. But, I mean, the guys who were on the flight, so we didn't get to New York. Our hotel's till 4 in the morning. Oh. And, we had to be there at, 10 or 11 in the morning. I mean, that was a tough assignment.
That sucks. Let's see here. We got a listener named Eric who texted in and said it was a Tuesday. He says, "I remember because I called into work drunk the next day."
Ben's not alone.
Calling in drunk. Problem solver Jesus was also at game 163. He says he got wet from the leaky roof that evening. I remember it was raining, and I don't think any of us would argue that there might have been a leak in the roof of that building from time to time.
Sure.
That's unbelievable. Well, Dick Bremer, we're pretty pumped about playoff baseball around here. We've been talking about it up and down. I was reading an article in the Star Tribune going on and on about who's, and this is going to be, we've still got some games to play here, but this big article on who's going to be available and who might not be available come next Tuesday.
Well, I wish I had a clear answer. It was a tough deal. As good as the Twins played on the road trip, they won both series. One day you lose, or you think you lose, Carlos Correa for the rest of the year, and then the very next day, Royce Lewis, tweaks his hamstring, so the left side of your infield is gone. I think there's reason to be encouraged that Correa is going to play and be ready to go. I don't know, frankly, how they're going to play it, and I'm sure they haven't decided yet how they're going to play it with Royce Lewis, whether he's going to be on the roster. If he is he the designated hitter? If he is the designated hitter, what do you do with Byron Buxton? Can he play out in center field? Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of moving parts to all of this. The main thing is the Twins have three really good right-handed hitters whose availability for this first playoff round is a little bit up in the air, Correa, Lewis, and Buxton. And I like the Twins' chances if all three of them can play, but if none of the three can play, that's going to be the storyline going into the offseason.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, and the pitching, too. Sunday's game, was it Sunday's game? There was a possibility that Chris Paddock was going to pitch for the first time in, a year and a half or something?
That really stunk. Yeah, that was bad because he, I haven't gone through it, of course, but the players that I talk to about the Tommy John surgery and the rehab, and Paddock had to go through it a second time, and he worked so hard to get back and try to contribute to the Twins season this year. And he was ready to go. He was warmed up in the bullpen and ready to make that triumphant return to a big league mound in a big league game, and then the rain came. So they had to shut him down. I'm pretty sure he'll get in tonight. If not tonight, he'll get in tomorrow.
I can't wait to see him. To see him. That's very exciting. But does he show up on the playoff roster?
Well, they clocked him in St. Paul in the outings he had with a fastball really upticked to 96, 98.
Really?
And Brock Stewart is going to come back, too, and he was clocked at 98, 99. And then you got Varland now, who's a reliever. And I really believe that the main source for optimism for me regarding this Twins team in the playoffs, provided they can score some runs, and we talked about the injuries and all that, I don't know that the Twins have ever had a pitching staff like this one going into a playoff series or a playoff postseason. So therein, I think, lies the hope.
Okay. Where else was I going to go with this? I mean, all right, I'm not trying to start any arguments here. But if it's your team, Dick Bremer, and you're calling the shots, is Joe Ryan your number 3 starter? And you guys know I'm a Kente guy. I'm a Kenta Maeda guy. I love the stuff that he brings, his toughness. I love the creativity of his approach to an at-bat. I just, in my opinion, I don't know. Joe Ryan just kind of makes me a little squirrely.
If it was my team, we wouldn't be having this conversation because I would mismanage it beyond belief, and we wouldn't be in the playoffs. But the one thing to remember, and Kenta Maeda started a postseason game for the Twins in 2020 against Houston, and he did really well.
Right.
And he had some good starts with the Dodgers, but he has 20 playoff relief appearances when he was with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And that's where he had his greatest success.
Yeah, you're right.
And so now let's imagine a world where we get to Game 3, and it will be then like Game 163, right? Because the loser goes home. So I can imagine a world where one or both teams or every team that unless they've got a number 3 that they really are sure of, and who knows, the way the West is going, Verlander may be Houston's number 3 because the other two guys, everybody else, Verlander may have had to pitch the last weekend just for them to get into the playoffs.
Right.
So if you've got a good, solid number 3, and I think the Twins have that, but you can imagine a world where teams are going to try to be a little creative and maybe start somebody, and then, you get 26 guys on the roster. You're not going to need them all, and you can reset your roster after the playoff series and then go an inning a time from 4 or 5, maybe even 6 different relievers.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Those are all great points. I get nervous. Well, now who are they going to play? We still don't know the answer to that question. That's the other thing that's hanging over our heads.
I was watching some of the Houston-Seattle game, and Seattle just has really, really struggled in September. And so right now they look to be the odd team out. But you've got now, it looks like the way the season is right now, you'd have 3 teams from the American League East. You would have Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Toronto, and only 2 from the West. But the West is so jumbled up right now, the 6th seed that the Twins would get changes on a daily basis. Right now it would be Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn. And I think
I'd rather play Seattle than Houston.
Oh yeah, I think I already explained the stress level I'll be under if they play the Houston Astros.
I'd rather play Seattle than Houston.
There's a measure of hatred right there.
There's something about Houston. There's something about Houston that reminds me of the Yankees, and I'd rather not even think about having to deal with that rotation that they have.
But how glorious would it be to beat them?
Oh, it'd be awesome. Just like it would be awesome to sweep the Yankees out of a series, but I'd rather play Seattle right now.
I've learned over the years to be careful what you wish for, because in 2006, Twins had clinching day at the Dome, and the players came out on the field and watched the Royals beat the Tigers.
Yep.
And that meant, yay, we don't have to go to New York and play the Yankees. We get the wild card team, the Oakland A's. And then the Oakland A's swept the Twins. So be careful what we wish for. The one thing I will say, I think whoever they face in that first round, the Twins will have an edge in the starting rotation. I mean, people talk about Verlander and all these other frontline starters that are out there. How about the 2 the Twins are going to lead with, Sonny Gray and Pablo Lopez? Those guys are pretty good.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Oh, man, Dick Bremer. Well, if this means anything to anybody, well, first off, let's cover, like I said, there's still games to play. They open a 3-game series with the Athletics tonight at Target Field. It's going to be 6:40 on Bally Sports. Bailey Ober going to get the start against a young fella by the name of Paul Blackburn. The Athletics have used 24 different starting pitchers this season. 41 different pitchers altogether.
And they currently have lost 108 games.
8 games, I was just going to say they've only won 48. So,
have they ever had a season this bad? There's no way they've ever had a season this bad.
I don't know that Oakland has. There was one a few years ago. The Tigers won on the last day against the Twins to avoid losing their 120th game.
Woo-wee. So they got to get through the Athletics, and then they and hopefully everyone stays nice and healthy. Then they go to Colorado. So, the season isn't over yet. But in case this matters to anybody, Major League Baseball will have neutral clock operators in the postseason for the pitch clock and such. I didn't know this was happening, Dick Bremer. Did you? Big League Baseball has been evaluating each team's clock operator during the regular season, and then they're going to select a dozen of the best performers for postseason games. Kind of like the NFL grades the referees, right?
Right.
Does Major League Baseball grade the umpires, and that's who gets the job? Okay.
Yep, they do. They do. Yes. Might not look like it sometimes, but they do.
Yeah. So it's like an all-star selection of clock operators. That's kind of an honor, isn't it? Even if you're just
that's awesome.
I think that'd be pretty exciting.
Sitting there with a stopwatch, but you did a great job during the regular season. So a clock operator cannot work a postseason game involving the team whose games the operator timed during the regular season. All that stuff. But they're not going to expand it at all. Remember, Dick Bremer, there was some conversation about loosening up the pitch clock a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't, because then, you'd probably have more violations because people would think that they've got even more time than they actually have. Everybody's, I think, adjusted pretty well to this, and I didn't think there was any reason really to expand it. You don't want to have a big strike three called late in the playoff game, but, you've had 162 games to get used to the pace of things and the tempo of things. So, I'm glad they didn't expand the pitch clock.
Yeah, me too. I've liked it from the get-go. Didn't think I was going to like it, but I liked it right from the get-go. Well, I mean, Josh, you ran didn't you run the scoreboard and the clock at your high school basketball games? Did they ever invite you to do an all-star game?
No, they didn't have that back then.
I did that too, and that was stressful because you get parents yelling at you.
Not if you're good, Dana.
Touche, sir.
I wonder who caught more hell. Who caught more hell from ridiculous, delusional parents? Cubby and Dana as the clock operator. Me as the Zamboni driver back in the day. Or Randy when he was coaching fifth grade basketball.
Oh, my God.
Were parents bad back then, Randy? Like they are now?
It depends on where you were playing, but yeah, you see a few. Not as many as you would think, but you see a few.
I loved doing that. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, what were the parents hollering at you for? Hey, you hit the button. What were they hollering at you for?
Maybe if you fall asleep at the switch and they wake you up.
Start
the clock.
I'd put 2 points up for the visitors instead of the home team.
No.
Yeah, that would happen.
I can fix that. It's reversible. I understand what the score is.
Yeah, Dana, I completely understand. I've watched parents yell at the poor little scorekeeper.
Parents melt down for that. Oh gosh, yeah. And the referee has to let the referee has to let the play until there's a natural place to stop, and then he'll go over and correct the clock. But that in between time drives parents insane because they want the score changed now. They don't want to wait. So.
Yeah, I got a little hell from folks on the Zamboni, and none of it was justified. I'm serious. I batted 1,000 on the Zamboni.
What kind of heck did you get?
Well, remember the dude who didn't understand the rules of the hour clock?
Oh,
remember that story?
Yeah, okay.
And Janel, I took a cheap shot. I told him that his kid sucked. Yeah.
Did he suck, or did you just say it?
I just said he sucked.
Do you even know who his kid was?
Yeah, I knew which one he was. It was like a 7th grade Pee Wee A team, and the dad's on my case about the hour clock, and he wouldn't let it go, and I flipped out. And in the end, I told him that his kid sucked, and he wanted my boss's number, so I wrote my boss's number on a piece of paper, and then I crumpled it up and threw it into his face.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, Dick Bremer. I lost it for a minute. Well, there you go. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, we're pumped about the Twins, and we will be talking to you next Tuesday on Game 1 of the playoffs.
Right, we'll be doing a couple of these, I think, in the postseason. Awesome. Hopefully, a nice long run, and by Tuesday morning, I'm pretty sure we're going to know who the Twins are going to play that night.
I sure hope so. I'm going to be nervous. Are you going to be nervous, Dick?
Yeah, and it's different for me because now, once we get into the postseason, I'm just a fan like everybody else. So I'm sitting up there in the stands, just watching the games like everybody else, and for some reason, even Friday night, I was excited, but I wasn't nervous. Because that's what I do. I talk, and that helps relieve my anxiety, right? Well, I watch these games now, these playoff games, even the World Series games in '87 and '91, and I don't talk because that would be a bit alarming if you were sitting next to somebody who's talking all the time.
I would actually love that. You could do play-by-play for the people around you.
I sit there by myself, and I just, I watch, and I keep my mouth shut, and I just get, wound up so tight. So.
That'd be great.
You should have a watch party just for you to do play-by-play for a certain number of fans. That would be so much fun.
That would be fun.
I forgot to even bring that up. I mean, so you're, come Sunday, you're all done.
Yeah, 40 years of doing this for the Twins, and this is their in that time, the 12th postseason year, and I haven't done one inning of postseason baseball.
You're okay with that?
I would love to do a World Series or the postseason, but that's the lot of life when you're a TV play-by-play guy. It used to be a long time ago they'd have the team's TV announcers do the national broadcast, but that stopped being the case about 40 years ago, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to see it. And since we won't talk to you before the end of the regular season, we look forward to talking to you next Tuesday. We'll all be wound up for Game 1 of the playoffs. But since we won't talk to you before the end of the regular season, I just want to make it clear again what an absolute honor it is to have you on this program. We really do.
Well, thank you.
It is so much fun.
We love it, and I love watching your damn broadcast, calling the Twins games. I almost never miss a game. So it's always a thrill, Dick Bremer, and congratulations on 40 years.
Well, I appreciate that. I've enjoyed this segment over the last few years, and let's hope we can keep going a while this year and cap it all off with a World Series celebration.
My God, I'll come completely uncorked and cry like a child, and I'll be telling someone that their kid sucks. Dick, we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
You got it, everybody.
Thanks, man. That'll be a hell of a day. Next Tuesday will be Game 1 of the playoffs.
Whew.
They're going to play friggin' Houston, aren't they, Randy?
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
I'm gonna have to go to my doctor's office and double up my heart medication.
Yep.
Because I get wound up, Janelle.
It's okay.
Did you know that about him?
No.
You didn't know that?
I never do on the air.
No,
on the air. All right, Randy Shaver, there you go. And Janelle, thanks for coming in. I suppose we can talk a little. Oh, I wanted to, if we're going to talk football, in which we have plenty of football conversation available here. The first thing I wanted to run by Randy Shaver is this Chad Ochocinco story that we talked about earlier. Randy Shaver, Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, former NFL wide receiver. He got on Instagram the other day, and Janelle, you might take an interest in this. He said before he became a professional football player, he worked as an exotic dancer at a strip joint in Los Angeles.
I used to strip. I used to be a dancer. I used to strip at the right track. But I used to make about $3,000 a night. Sometimes the night be slow. Sometimes I can't make it to work because I got football practice. And the key to it is, right, you got them back then you dance for the big women. The big women tip you good. Having $3,000 back in 1997 as a little kid, you know how much money that is?
That's awesome.
Why?
He had the stage name Twix.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Like the candy bar.
Yeah.
Twix. He said the big ladies were the best tippers. He was raking in $2,500 to $3,000 a night.
That's insane.
Oh my God. So he said
He was 19 years old.
I was
Yes.
just going to say, so he was in college or what
Must have been a college
'cause he
kid.
says football practice, so he's playing, obviously.
That was that year, that era's version of the NIL.
Yeah, a lot easier to make the cash these days.
Oh my
Name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you like
body?
Did anybody here know a guy who spent some time as an exotic dancer?
Oh, Cubby.
No.
I would love to watch
Don't be shy, Cubby. Tell the story.
Those were the days.
Yes, tell the
salad
story.
days, I always call them.
Now, there was a time, I don't know, does this count? There was a time when Wapple needed money and he would dance
Oh, yeah.
late night private dances for wealthy elderly gentlemen.
Didn't Tina Turner sing that song?
Yes, private
dancer. She did a great job with that.
You know, you joke about that, but I actually did do that.
Yeah, you did.
What are you talking about?
It was for Toys for Tots.
No. I'm not talking about on-stage stuff. We're not counting on-stage stuff.
Yeah, he did make a debut on stage at Rick's Cabaret.
Yeah, he was all drugged up and he was all sweaty. It was kind of gross.
You weren't really sweaty.
So sweaty. Those lights.
Another double whammy of Monday Night Football last night, Randy Shaver. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers' dreams of an undefeated season came crumbling down last night. They were beat by the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a tough game for Tampa Bay. Tough game for Baker Mayfield last night, for sure, yeah.
Cincinnati got their first
win. The
win.
Eagles are so good.
Are they that
really
good?
Are. Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They're really good.
They didn't look that good against the Vikings. They looked good.
Yeah.
They didn't look Super Bowl good.
Short week early in the season. I think as the season rolls along, they're going to find if DeAndre Swift stays healthy, he's going to have a monster year for them. And they just have I know they retooled their defense, but you can't really tell too much. They're really good.
Cincinnati got their first win of the season over the L.A. Rams by 3 points.
I was reading where Joe Burrow said the risk of going 0-3 outweighed him getting re-injured. He was going to play no matter what, and they had to win. It was like a playoff game. Had to win. So
he got a win last night. Here's an article from Deadspin.com that says you can stick a fork in these NFL teams because they're done. Done, Randy. So
Sure.
agree or disagree? Agree or disagree with these? The Chicago Bears.
Done. Cooked.
They're so done.
They're so bad.
They're so bad. I mean, this was supposed to be like the Renaissance year for the Bears. There was a lot of discussion before the season started how Justin Fields was going to take a couple of big steps and that their defense was better. And I haven't seen one iota that that's the case.
Okay. You agree with that one.
And
Yes.
the Bears play the Broncos on Monday Night Football next week.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited about that game.
Watch party at my place.
The Carolina Panthers. Done.
Yeah, as far as making the postseason, I would say yes. I think there's some reason for optimism there, though. Their young quarterback and some pieces. So,
and they do play the Vikings next week, so they won't be 0-4.
I will say this, though. That division, at least recently, has been bad. This year could be pretty competitive. I mean, Atlanta's better. New Orleans is definitely better. Their defense is lights out. And Tampa's already proven that they are a little bit better football team than what people expect.
The Arizona Cardinals are done.
I don't know. They're supposed to be done, but then they beat the Cowboys this week. You know, they want them to lose all their games so they can have the first pick. And the USC quarterback's already said he doesn't want to play in Arizona. So I don't know what their thoughts are for the number one pick, but that's what everybody wants. They want the Cardinals to tank so they can get the number one pick.
Deadspin goes on to say that the Houston Texans are done.
No.
The Houston Texans are not done?
I don't think so. I think they're going to be better than what people think.
The Denver Broncos are done.
That one is pretty bad. Yeah.
And the Minnesota Vikings are done.
Done.
Maybe about the postseason situation, but I think they're going to end
Well, that's
up
kind of
being
what they
more-
mean.
Yeah, more of a 500 football.
That's what they mean by done.
Which is kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the season, too.
So we mentioned yesterday that the Miami Dolphins totally curb stomped the Denver Broncos on Sunday. They scored 10 touchdowns. They scored 70 points. According to this here story, there was a group of Dolphins fans, family members, apparently watching the game Sunday, and they vowed to take a shot of tequila every time Miami scored a touchdown.
Oh, man. May they rest in peace.
Yes.
They did it, and they lived to see another day, according to the story.
They died doing what they loved.
Yes.
Some dude posted a message on Twitter. He said, "My family does a tequila shot for every Dolphins touchdown. Today's historic win has me rethinking our tradition." They did say the shots got smaller and smaller as the game went on.
I would hope so. Gee.
I'm guessing, too.
Probably because they ran out of booze they were drinking.
Maybe a little watered down by the end of it.
They were trying to dial back the odds of vomiting or instant death.
I think the bigger question, other than the one you asked about it, are they done, is are they for real? That would be a more interesting question maybe for some of these teams. I'm not so sure Miami is
might take
totally,
a while.
Is Miami is totally real.
They're real.
Certainly look great against Denver, but are they...
Come on, they scored 70 points. What do you want?
No, I'm just saying overall, are they a playoff team to be contended with? Do they have a chance to win a Super Bowl? I guess I would say no.
That's too early in the season maybe to talk about Super Bowls, but I don't know. I'm not going to doubt a team that puts 70 effing points on the board. I don't care who they're playing.
They didn't even have Waddle with them either.
Who the hell's Waddle?
Jalen Waddle.
Waddle with him.
What does he do?
Waddle with him.
Waddle said waddle with him.
Not Wascally Wabbit.
What does Marion Wobble, what is his name again?
Jalen?
What does he do for a living?
He's a wide receiver.
does he do?
Never heard of the guy.
One of their best players.
Never even heard of the guy.
Just one of their best players.
Here's a message from. Here's a text message from Pro Wrestling Mark Jesus. He says the Vikings are not done, but they are obsolete. So the Jets and Patriots played on Sunday, and that Sauce Gardner dude who plays for the Jets, cornerback, I believe.
Correct.
He says that the Patriots quarterback, Mac Jones, Gardner says that Jones touched his penis.
My stomach hurting a little bit. Oh, man. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I do gotta ice up. He's trying to stop me from having kids in the future. I'm tripping.
I couldn't follow anything that was being said there, but he said that...
He tried to prevent him from having kids in the future. He had to ice up and his stomach hurt.
He says that Mac Jones hit him in the penis during the ball game.
Like slugged him or hit him with the football?
Like a penis tap, Randy.
Oh, I see.
The old cup check.
Oh.
He says, Sauce Gardner says in the fourth quarter, Jones got tackled, and then after the play, Jones stood up and got into the face of Sauce Gardner. Gardner says he came up to me saying something like, "Good job," but while he was saying that, he hit me in my private parts.
Little love tap.
So he's one of these sack tap dorks. Is that what we're to take away from that, Josh?
Yeah, well, yeah, the NFL is investigating to see if you really did it.
God, I hate those sack tap guys. It's just the dumbest friggin' gimmick of all time.
It is pretty stupid.
Yourself. Why do you want to touch each other there?
I would love to be in the NFL. Was that a sack tap? They're like going through instant replays.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're picturing.
Let's go to New York and find out.
Check in with Dean Blandino.
Yes.
Was that a sack tap?
I work for the NFL. Oh, cool. What do you do there? I'm the sack tap investigator.
You know, I watched the video that Sauce Gardner apparently put out onto social media saying, "Here's the proof." I couldn't see anything.
I couldn't tell at all.
It's like a massive...
Yeah, I watched it a few times. I couldn't... Yeah, and he's saying, "Here's proof." I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I couldn't see it either.
So, right, Josh is right. The NFL is going to investigate this because he's Sauce Gardner, I guess. I don't think they do this for every player, but I guess he's a big shot now, so they're going to take the time to. And they could fine this Mac Jones for hitting another man in the balls and wiener.
Well, that takes me back to 6th grade when that was. That was a thing then.
Gardner said he wasn't expecting it.
Well, who does? That's the whole idea, right?
First time for everything, I guess. He's trying, like Josh said, Gardner said he's trying to prevent me from having kids in the future. I've gone off before on this program about those sack tap dudes. One of the dumbest... I mean, we dudes get involved in some pretty friggin' stupid male bonding activities.
Yeah.
But that's got to be the lowest of the low. I hit you in the dong. I don't understand a single bit of it.
Oh, I'm so glad you hate it as much as I do. Makes me feel better.
But Josh, you guys really did that to each other back in grade school?
Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. That was a huge thing.
You had to keep your head on a swivel in Blackhawk Middle School, otherwise you were going to be in some serious pain.
I'll tell you, there was one time I was chasing my buddy. Sack tapped me, right? And I was chasing him through his house, and his mom stopped. She's like, whoa, what's going on? And I said, hey, he hit me in the nards. And she turned to her son and said, is that true? Did you hit Josh in the nards? And he said, yeah. So she held on to him and said, all right, go for it. And she let me hit him in the nards.
That's good.
Mom of the year.
And I wound up with everything I had, and I gave it to him. He had it coming.
How much were you guys laughing when you said nards to the mom?
Pretty hard.
Yeah.
When the mom said nards? Yeah, we were laughing pretty
Suddenly
hard.
your mother, or this guy's mother, was Earl Hebner refereeing this.
She never became a grandma for some reason.
Janelle, could you imagine if girls did this? We just walked around all day.
No.
Just hit
Do you
each
girls
other.
ever hit each other in the boobs or anything?
No, because we all agree that it hurts, so we don't want to hurt each other.
Not
Just
even when you're having...
flip?
Yeah,
No.
not even when you're having pillow fights at a sleepover?
Oh, my God.
Dana. Settle down, Dana.
I mean, we don't need to keep going on this because I know we've had this conversation a million times before, but I'll say it again. The first time I saw a dude sack tap another dude, I braced myself for a fight because when I was a grade school, junior high, high school kid, if me and my buddies, if any of us had ever reached over and tapped the other on the penis, I would expect a switchblade to be drawn out of somebody's pocket. It just was absolutely nothing we would have ever done. So I braced myself for violence. And then when I saw this happen in person at a bar, when, I don't know, I was probably 36, 7 years old. These guys were 21, 2 years old. And I braced myself for a fight because I'd never seen that happen before. And then the two guys were giggling with each other. I was completely confused. This would totally suck eggs. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Las Vegas Raiders on the road Sunday. And then their plane ride home, they had to make an emergency landing in Kansas City because of engine trouble. Oh, boy. That would scare the hell out of me. Yes. Everyone was fine. And then they jumped onto some other death trap airplane and went the rest of the way home.
I would not be able to get back on an airplane.
Oh, I think folks found out who's going to perform at the wildly overrated Super Bowl halftime show this year.
So
I believe it's going to be Usher.
Usher. But yeah, that's so dumb.
Is it? My wife wants to go to the Super Bowl just for that. Yeah, that's what she was telling me yesterday.
I didn't listen to Usher since I was in like the 6th grade. I think it should be somebody that's like, I don't know, maybe like
relevant.
Yeah,
No,
relevant.
forget current, forget relevant. We all know it should be Weird Al Yankovic, and that's the end of the conversation.
You're not wrong.
I did hear that. I was reading something today on Twitter that said Jay-Z has since he owns part of the NFL or something. He's one of the.
He owns part of the NFL.
No,
he's on the committee that puts these things together.
There we go.
Oh, the halftime show committee.
Yeah, his company Rockefeller, whatever, is part of the
I
NFL.
love that, Ashley. He owns part of the NFL or whatever.
He's like,
what about Jay-Z? What did he say?
Well, he is one of the people that helps choose the people that are going to perform. So it makes more sense that he would pick up or do like non-relevant artists.
Okay,
that's his thing.
Friends with, yeah.
I haven't heard Usher. That's not how I heard it pronounced. I heard a song many years ago that said, "Take that, rewind it back. Usher makes the things that make your booty go."
Sometimes, Usher baby or Usher, yeah.
That's how I heard it, Janelle. Do you know that song?
I don't think I do.
Take that, rewind it back. Usher makes songs that make the booty go.
I've never had a song make my booty do that.
I'm uncomfortable.
What, a guy can't recite some song lyrics around other grown people without... Usher. That's how I heard it.
I heard they don't get paid, right? So that's kind of a deterrent because apparently Taylor Swift, a.k.a. Travis's girlfriend, was asked, and she said no because why would you want to do it if you're her?
Yeah, they've asked her every year for the last decade. She always said, I mean, she has no reason to do it.
Right.
I think they take part of your money from your tour too. From your most current tour that you're on, they take some of that money.
They take some of that money and they rewind it back.
Yeah, you have to pay to play at the Super Bowl. But I think they pay for all the production and everything like that at the Super Bowl.
So you pay your own folks and. Interesting.
You know, Janelle, social media dorks and football nerds obsessing over this Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing are going to have us all eventually praying for death. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe how big of a story this is.
It's unreal.
I can't. Oh, I hate it.
Praying for death.
I thought of you a lot.
Didn't his jersey sales go through the roof?
400%, Randy. They jumped 400%.
Stupid.
And there's articles teaching Swifties, the Taylor Swift fans, about football.
Yeah. there isn't a market that she hasn't saturated yet. Like, can we just have one? I love her, but I just want one.
You want what?
I just want something that she hasn't completely saturated yet. She's everywhere all the time.
Oh, I see what you mean. So now she's bothering your football viewing experience?
Yeah, it's just too much. Too much Taylor Swift for me.
Well, I would say that Travis Kelce's had a lot of big catches in his career. This would be the biggest.
Who's that?
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick?
Yeah, he made a joke.
Jesus. When is that guy going to leave us alone? Anyway, you might find this cute. Dallas Cowboys outside linebacker Micah Parsons talking about this Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift nightmare. He said he feels like it's now time for other football players to, quote, start shooting from deep to land a famous girlfriend. He's saying Kelce has, broken some kind of a door open here. And now it's time for other football players to take a shot at God knows who, some famous lady.
Because NFL players famously don't do well with women, so hopefully this gives them the confidence to ask a pretty lady out on a date.
We're not talking about a pretty lady. He means like the biggest female stars in the world.
I saw a tweet from a girl. I loved this tweet because everyone just assumes they're a couple now, and it was
it's not. They're not.
If I was in a relationship with every dude that invited me to go see a sports game, I would be in a lot of relationships I didn't know about.
Well, that's Micah Parsons' take on it, at least. He says, now's the time, boys. The barriers have been broken open. Start sending out some tweets or whatever young people do.
I think we're going to find out that this is probably more just a friendship and a PR deal than it truly is a relationship.
Here's the good news, Randy Shaver. I couldn't possibly care less.
I know. I'm with you, too, but I just think that it's not.
I wouldn't care if the two of them went on a killing spree. I don't care.
It's a really smart PR move because who are the majority of Taylor Swift's fans? They're young girls. You can get them into football this way.
You think it's a way to get young girls?
What? It's all part of the script.
Involved in football.
All part of the NFL.
You talking about to get them to start putting helmets on and playing football?
No, start watching it.
Start watching football.
Yeah, I'd love to see
You are a conspiracy
Roger
theorist.
Goodell
That's interesting.
Is a genius.
I would love to see how much the viewing went up of that game simply because people heard that Taylor Swift was there.
Yeah, it did skyrocket.
Skyrocketed.
Yeah.
What skyrocketed?
The viewing of the game.
What
when they
game?
found out that Taylor Swift was at the Chiefs game, the viewing audience went through the roof.
Oh, she was at the game? And
that's what's making this a big story.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, she was hanging out with Mama Kelsey.
She was.
Mama Kelsey?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now she's doing the chunky commercials.
I'm telling you, the script is genius.
They've got some good writers.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key, great job.
Yes.
Those are funny.
Holy smokes, look at what time it is already.
Jeez Louise.
I can't believe this. I have so much more to tell you about, but that happens. We can save it for tomorrow. One final note. I'll save that for tomorrow.
We're not here tomorrow.
We're not here tomorrow.
Oh.
But, I mean, you can still save it.
Well, that sucks, because I had some stuff here. We were having so many laughs I didn't even... This is maybe how you know you've made it in the NBA. Anthony Edwards just unleashed his first signature shoe.
Sure.
I realize I'm not the target audience for these shoes, but I find them pretty ugly.
I think
Well, I didn't look
they're
at the
looking,
shoe.
Actually, they're up on 93x.com if you want to check them out.
All the basketball shoes are stupid looking.
Yeah, it's different than
I like the colors.
I didn't even look at him. I'm happy for the kid, though. I guess he had a big party in Atlanta where he's from. You know, Adidas. He and Adidas signed this big deal together. He's doing this and that. I wish I would have been at that party. So there you go.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised Janel wasn't invited to that.
Janel, what are you talking about, Wapple?
Yeah, I'm with Dana. These shoes are... Ugh.
Let me see what they look like.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're all dumb looking. I mean, they look like all the other basketball shoes that I see the guys wearing.
They're like gummy on the side.
Yeah, it's kind of weird looking.
It's a good way to describe it, Waffle. Gummy.
I'm such a big fan. I'm happy for the kid, but I mean, yeah, sure. Not my thing.
I'd be A5 from day 5.
Basketball shoes are not my thing. A5 from day 5. All right, there you go, Randy Shaver. I guess maybe we should start explaining things to folks. We're not going to be here tomorrow. We're not going to be here for the rest of the week. Don't worry. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. I know Cubby was recently sick, and I don't want anyone to think that, we're all sick. But we are taking the rest of the week off. It's for happy reasons. We'll explain when we get back. But, we won't be here tomorrow. I forgot all about it. All about it. So you're off the hook, Randy, until next Monday.
I'm off the hook.
Yeah.
Party time.
You don't got to do a damn thing.
Now I can stay up till 6:30.
You and Brad still need to get together on Friday, just the two of you, and have a trivia contest.
No thanks.
Take care of you. Don't die on us or anything.
Please.
All right.
We'll
see
talk to
you
you.
on Monday.
You got it, Randy Shaver. More with Janel Klein when we come back.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show. Guest Brandon Fugel.
Now, Skinwalker Ranch is the most Googled location in the entire world. For whatever reason, we're seeing the highest level of UFO sightings and paranormal activity. And this has been going on for decades, if not millennia. And we're finally bringing it to the public's attention.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen. KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Absolutely wonderful. Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show. It's 8:33. And Janel Klein is in studio with us. You know, we ran out of time there in our sports report with Randy Shaver, I don't know. I don't even know if we should call it a sports report anymore. We certainly talk sports, but we go all over the effing place. But, our daily conversation with Randy Shaver, we ran out of time, and there were some stories I didn't get a chance to get to, and this was one of them. Josh, the Japanese wrestlers who put on a match on the damn bullet train.
How do you get a ticket to something like that? That was awesome.
Did we put that video up on our website?
I believe so.
God dang, that looked like fun. The bullet train. Traveling between Tokyo and Nagoya, Japan.
I'd like to go on one of those bullet trains. See, if you can tell you're going that fast.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
They say it goes 180 miles per hour, Cubby.
Dang! That's like Janelle when she's pulling into the parking lot running late.
They organized a wrestling match in the aisle of the train. What are they? What kind of leeway do you have there? About, I don't know, 2 feet?
Yeah, it's tight. Yeah.
And these two guys are suplexing each other. The match ended with a pile driver in the aisle. Did you see this, Wapple?
Yeah, dedication.
I was hoping we were going to get to that. Let's get that video up. But I'm sorry, I already forgot whether it's there or not.
If it's not, I'll get it up right now.
All right, yeah, get that up there. Folks want to see that. They sold the seats out on this train for this wrestling show in less than 30 minutes. Man.
Wapple, that's one. You've been to a lot of wrestling shows. Would you go to one on a bullet train?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The two old guys, I recognize one of them. One of them's made an appearance or two on AEW, hasn't he, Wapple?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Minoru Suzuki?
Yes.
I recognized him.
Because of his hairstyle.
Yeah, right. These guys were not kids. They've been in the business for a long time. That's brilliant. That would absolutely be a riot.
It's fun.
All right. But while we were talking with Randy Shaver, we got to talking about Taylor Swift. She's possibly dating an NFL player, and everyone's wetting themselves. Ashley thinks that there's a deeper meaning to all this. And I love this. Her theory is that the NFL set the two of them up, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The NFL set the two of them up in order to get more young gals interested in watching football.
I don't know if it was the NFL's doing, but...
Well, who else would it be?
I guess I don't know.
Oh.
Pfizer.
Could be Pfizer or Moderna, right?
PETA.
Some political party, right? That's brilliant. Now, Taylor Swift fans were mentioned in an article titled, who counts themselves as a fan? Dana and Ashley, right, are into this gal's music?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Big time, right?
Yeah.
Janelle, do you follow?
I like her. I don't sit around and listen to her, but I like her, yeah.
Fair enough.
How long, Dana and Ashley, how long did you guys wait for tickets? And Ashley, didn't you cry at one point?
Yep. It took me like 7.5 hours, and I cried twice or 3 times. It was rough.
That sucks, actually.
What about you, Dana?
I was one of the lucky ones. I just went through without a problem, and then I saw everybody tweeting, and I was like, well, what the hell's the big deal? I just signed up like normal, went online when they were on sale, and got them.
You should be like whatever Wi-Fi company you use. They should use you as an endorsement.
It was right here at work.
Taylor Swift fans were mentioned in an article titled Truly Insufferable Fan Bases That Made Things Unenjoyable.
Yeah.
That cracks me up.
That is funny. It is true, though, when some people are so into something, it just makes it, you can't be a casual fan anymore.
The article says, in general, most things in life are fun until a fan base takes over. You could say that about a television show, a band, a movie, whatever you want. Most things are pretty effing cool until an entire fan base goes nuts and ruins it for everyone else.
Yeah, this would one that comes to my mind would be the YouTube TV show Hot Ones. I watched it ever since the beginning of the show. And there's this guy, he just interviews like rappers and different like people in pop culture, and they eat wings, and the wings get hotter and hotter, and it's like a serum. The hotter the wings are, the more truth that they give out. And now all the new ones, they're with these big name actresses, and they can't give much info out still because everything's under wraps. So the show's just kind of gone down.
Okay.
So
has anyone else seen this program?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I haven't watched it, but I've seen clips. Certainly seen clips.
So how did the fan base ruin the show?
Because they wanted bigger and bigger name people.
Okay.
Rather than these like little known rappers.
Okay.
Or little known like actors and actresses.
So they demanded bigger stars, and the bigger stars aren't going to tell the truth.
Yes. And they just ruined the show, I felt like.
It stopped all the fun for Wapple.
Yeah, I can't watch it anymore.
Wapple thinks they sold out, basically.
Yep.
But they mentioned Taylor Swift fans as, again, being insufferable and made things unenjoyable. But those people, the people who are enthusiastic about Taylor Swift, are by far not the only ones mentioned in the article. They talk about Star Wars fans.
Star Wars fans did kind of ruin Star Wars for me. I loved it growing up. I loved the prequels. I loved the new trilogy, but just the way they acted on social media towards some of the actors and actresses, just saying such misogynistic and racist stuff towards these actors, like a woman can't be a Jedi, and just saying the most awful things. It just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, and I kind of stopped following along to the series.
Well, hold on a second. You loved the prequels?
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say that before.
They're better than they get credit. I mean, I like the first one. I like the third one. The second one was kind of trash.
Yeah, that's too bad that all that happened. And I know you're never going to listen to me, but turn off social media. Stop it with that.
It's not like I saw it firsthand. There'd be articles written about it, and they would say in interviews, I don't want to be associated with Star Wars anymore just because of how awful the fans were to me on social media.
Don't we have a podcast?
Do we?
Yeah, we
Yes.
here, this program.
Yes.
Okay. They mentioned podcast fans have ruined podcasts. Okay, and here's how they explain that. They used to be fun and purposeful. Now, a ton of B-list celebrities and pro athletes have pointless podcasts where they spend half the time just talking about themselves.
It blows my mind how many people have podcasts.
Oh, it's...
Just kind of assume everybody does.
Yeah. One of a girl I knew growing up, she became like kind of like an Instagram influencer in the last couple years, and she started a podcast a couple months ago. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a listen. Wonder what she has to talk about. And I was like, oh, nothing. She has nothing to talk about. Okay.
Yeah, it's just incredible how it's just taken off. Okay, so B-list celebrities, athletes, pointless podcasts where they spend half the time talking about themselves. The other criticism of, I guess, how fans of podcasts have ruined podcasts. There are lots of copies of other more legitimate podcasts, only the copies suck. Makes it hard to search for good ones. I don't experiment with any of this. I don't get involved in any of this. But
I'm only loyal to one podcast besides the 93X podcast, of course, and that would be a morbid podcast.
That's very popular.
That was one of like the OG crime podcasts, I believe.
I've said this a million times. I don't even like listening to this show. Why would I want to listen to somebody else's? You know what I mean? K-pop. Fans have ruined K-pop.
No, I'm not touching that one.
Speaking of intense fans, those K-pop fans, they are very intense.
Someone here in the article calls them unnecessarily toxic. And I wouldn't know. I guess you have to be on social media to catch these toxic comments. Would that be an accurate statement?
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay. Fan bases that have ruined insufferable fan bases. Rap music is mentioned, and they say specifically the fans who are obsessed with songs about bitches, drugs, and death.
That's a good one. Remember back in
Those are my 3 favorite tattoos that I recently got.
Well, like, it was so much better back when like Tupac and Biggie and all those guys were rapping. Nowadays, it's like, what are you rapping about?
Well, didn't Tupac and Biggie rap a lot about bitches, drugs, and death?
Yeah, but I felt like that was cooler rap. Now it's just, I don't know. It's just so much auto-tune and, I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I know
wouldn't,
what you
I wish I...
The style has changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I remember the Beastie Boys, and I remember a little bit of Run DMC.
Vanilla Ice, of course.
Vanilla Ice became a
I
thing.
mean, there's even a difference, Wapple. I don't know if you agree, but there's even a difference between like Kendrick Lamar and nowadays, like the rappers that are super hot nowadays.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure. He'll be playing at the Super Bowl halftime show.
All right, now you guys love true crime stuff, but apparently, according to this article, the insufferable fans of true crime have ruined that experience. The quality of books, podcasts, and documentaries has gone down as people try to churn out content and cash in. Okay, so I see where they're going with that. Everybody's trying to crank out a true crime television show, radio show, podcast, documentary. Sure. Fans seem to think they're all detectives now.
They do.
Yeah.
When there's an ongoing investigation and people on the internet are trying to solve the crime, let the professionals do their jobs.
That's pretty interesting.
Hey, sometimes it's helped though. It helped in the Gabby Petito case.
Did it?
Yep. They a bunch of people online were able to use clues that actually ended up helping the police, which was pretty cool. But I think that's a very rare occasion.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. These folks who are fans of true crime but not actual, detectives feel like they're entitled to information from either the family or the police department?
Yeah, they hit up the families with their theories and want to ask questions. Mm-hmm.
After somebody's been killed? I don't need to hear from some complete stranger. I'd look into the...
I've got a theory on that.
Right. They merchandise the crime? You're selling T-shirts and whatnot? That's not right.
No, that's not
Who would
right.
wear
What?
that?
I solved the crime.
Travel mugs and coffee cups with blood splatter and T-shirts.
Ooh, that's pretty
glamorizing murder? Wow. I guess I had heard of that before. I have.
Yeah, there are families, victims have spoken out that they don't like that there's so many podcasts and stuff being made, monetizing the murder of their child, basically.
I mean, Janelle, you cover some of this stuff. Doesn't that seem ridiculous that someone's out there selling T-shirts?
I mean, yes, I know I'm in the minority because there are a ton of people that love true crime. I don't really understand how that's entertainment.
Okay.
I don't find that entertaining at all. And I always just think if you put yourself in the family shoes, think of what that would feel like.
Yeah. Well, there's no question that I admittedly have started to watch some of these shows. I can never think of the name of it. Evil Lives Here or something like that. I've started to watch that kind of stuff now and again. Mm-hmm. Maybe I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about because I know the rest of these folks here on the program love it. And I can't help but admit that it's truly interesting stuff, but I hope that maybe you think a little better of me because that does cross my mind once in a while. Imagine what the family... Now, in a lot of cases, the family is involved in these documentaries.
I was just going to say, so the only one I really keep up with somewhat regularly is the Dateline podcast, which I think is just the audio of the show. And they always have the family on.
And that makes it, that makes a difference to me. Mm-hmm. If I'm watching one where it's just police or, maybe the bad guy or the bad person who did, that seems a little too sleazy to me.
I think it depends on the case. This is weird, but I just had a call from one of those shows, I won't say which, that wanted to interview me about something I'd covered, and I said no. And they said, well, the family's involved. And I talked to the family, and the family said, we never wanted to do it, but we were so worried about the tone it was going to take that we felt like we had to do it.
Really?
It's just, I don't know, all of it.
No, I get it.
It's weird.
And like I said, it's got to make a difference that you've seen these crime scenes. Right. Sorry, for lack of a better option there. That has to make a difference in whether you would be drawn to it in a show version,
Yeah, because you talk to these families, Janel, right? Like, you see the aftermath of what these terrible people do.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, that makes total sense to me.
Mm-hmm. KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, Janel Klein's in studio here with the program.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
And we were chatting a little bit about an article titled Truly Unsufferable, that's not the word, Truly Insufferable Fan Bases That Made Things Unenjoyable. We covered this, we covered that. I wanted to throw this last one at you because it's so well said. Okay? Insufferable fan bases that made things unenjoyable. The final here for you, weed. Great drug. This is how they say it. Weed. Great drug, intolerable fan base. And the weed thing has become too much. I'm not blaming weed smokers. I don't know who to blame, but it's out of hand at this point. It's everywhere now, and I need it to stop. And more than anything, what drives me nuts is I'm a famous person, and I have a great new kind of weed. No, you don't. You want our money. I'm willing to bet $100 there's absolutely nothing special about Mike Tyson and Ric Flair's stupid weed.
Well, only one way to find out.
But
Waffle, have you tried any of those celebrity lines?
No, I haven't. I want to.
I've tried like a couple of Wiz Khalifa's strains, and it was good, but it also just reminded me of every other weed.
Right.
Is there one you want to give a shot?
I'd like to try Ric Flair's. That'd be cool.
Ooh.
Well, go ahead. I'll be over here with my brand new Paul Pierce brand of weed, or whoever I'm so tired of that. But here's the deal before we go. According to a recent report, you should know this now, we here in Minnesota are the current national champions of beer drinking.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is going to butthurt our friends in Wisconsin, don't you think, Janelle?
Yeah, I hadn't heard that we had surpassed them.
Between this and Karen Rogers leaving them in the dust, this might be too much for our friends over there in Wisconsin. I don't know what this means, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. A restaurant point-of-sale company, all right, they released some data on the most popular alcohols by state based on actual orders. And Minnesota drinks the most beer. We drink the most beer. Not Wisconsin.
That's got to be the first time that's ever been said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the results say we drink 53% more than the national average. We also show up in gin orders, gin consumption.
Is anyone here a gin fan?
No.
I have been lately, yeah. Gin
What are
and
you,
tonics.
Gin and tonic?
Yep.
We are second just to New York State in the amount of gin that we suck down. I remember in high school, if we were all out of beer and everything else that we could tolerate, someone might have swiped a bottle of gin. Pine needles, right?
Yeah. It's exactly what it tastes like. Is there a drink, aside from gin and tonic, is there like a well-known drink that you put gin in?
Do Moscow Mules have gin?
Martinis? That's gin?
Yeah, you can make gin martini.
Oh, I did not know that.
Now, Wisconsin, you did show up. Nobody drinks more brandy.
Oh, that's definitely true over there.
Than in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Blackberry brandy.
Oh, so much blackberry
They
brandy.
love
Gave
it.
me shivers.
But we win in the beer category.
Are they second place? I can't
No.
believe we passed them.
They are not in second place, Janelle. I'll give you the top three for beer consumption.
Okay.
Where is it? I had it here somewhere. And I lost it.
Minnesota, Kansas, Pennsylvania is the top three for beer.
Minnesota, then Kansas, and Pennsylvania?
Yep.
Look at us.
There you go.
Huh.
They like rum more than anybody else in Hawaii.
Yeah.
What is this now? Whiskey, Kansas. Vodka, Delaware.
Oh.
Hard cider, Vermont. Oh, yeah, this is the one that was crazy. I don't even know if I know what hard cider is. Okay, hard seltzer. Ohio was number 1, and apparently they just bomb this hard seltzer. They drink hard seltzer at 160% over the U.S. average.
Whoa. Do they got a lot of golf courses there or something? I know that's big golf
It
courses.
is. There you go. I mean, that's just one report.
I'm taking it.
And I'm sure Wisconsin people are texting in right now, completely out of their friggin' minds with rage over the idea that maybe we could drink more beer than they do. But there you go. Well, Janelle, we have to say goodbye.
Yes.
And we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you guys for having me.
And another heads up to our listening audience, we will be taking the rest of the day off. It has nothing to do with any kind of a sickness. Josh was recently sick with COVID, but that's on the up and up, isn't it, Cubby?
Yeah, getting better every day.
It has nothing to do with it. We're not in any trouble. We're taking a happy 3 days off, and we'll be back on Monday morning. We'll tell you all about it when we come back, but it's not a bad thing. It's a good. Well, I mean, anytime you take time off is a good thing, even if one of us has COVID.
So good for me.
But this is all good times. All good times. So thanks again, Janelle.
Thanks, you guys.
Janelle, this is the worst part of our week, having to say goodbye to you.
I do love you guys.
We're going to see you next week, I hope.
Absolutely, we will.
I think that our whole text system needs to be oiled up.
Yep.
It froze up, so I apologize if we miss any shout-outs. I've only got one here before we go for the week. Happy 30th to Eric from your sister, Allison.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93 X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.